Chapter 4638. Lin Xian was stunned. He didn't attack again. Instead he asked, "Who are you?" There was still a trace of vigilance in his eyes. In front of him, a divine eagle was flying quickly. There were 3 figures standing on it. Standing at the front was a woman in a thunder robe. She was holding a token and a picture scroll in her hand. She asked, "May I ask if you are Lin Xian, Mr. Lin?" Lin Xian was surprised. "Who are you? Someone knows me?" The woman in the green robe said with a smile, "Great, it's really you. Mr. Lin, my name is Lu Yu. We are from the Heavenly Thunder Palace. We are cooperating with the Mountain Sea Palace. This time, Elder Ruachan asked us to come and find you." Hearing this, Lin Xian was relieved. So that's why. As a beast tamer, the Mountain Sea Palace cooperated with many sections. The Heavenly Thunder Palace was one of them. And the Heavenly Thunder Palace was in Taiching Ancient City. It must be Elder Ruachan and Elder Jianghu who were worried about Lin Xian's safety. They asked the Heavenly Thunder Palace to take care of him. "Mr. Lin, please come back with me. We will definitely give you a welcome dinner," Lu Yu said with a smile. Lin Xian nodded. "Thank you." He had nowhere to go now anyway. He could go to the Heavenly Thunder Palace. Maybe he could ask them to help him find some information. Lin Xian stepped on the Divine Eagle. The Divine Eagle almost fell. Lu Yu and the others were shocked. What's going on? They were confused. Lin Xian came back to his senses and retracted the aura on his body. When he was fighting with the mysterious man, he still had a terrifying murderous intent and the power of the great dragon sword soul. The Divine Eagle couldn't bear it. Sure enough, when he withdrew his power, the Divine Eagle became quiet. Then the Divine Eagle spread its wings and flew. Lin Xian and Lu Yu left the sky and arrived at the Heavenly Thunder Palace. The Heavenly Thunder Palace was a big force in Taiching Ancient City. Of course it wasn't the top. The top forces in Taiching Ancient City were the remote antiquity families. In addition, there were some great sects that could compete with the remote antiquity families. For example, the Violet Palace realm was one of them. There was also the Golden Crow race, an extremely terrifying ancient race that could also contend against them. These were the forces that had become the first tier. The Heavenly Thunder Palace belonged to the second tier. However, it was equally terrifying. After arriving, Lu Yu personally received Lin Xian and arranged a quiet courtyard for him. She also gave him some resources. This was all requested by Lin Xian. "Young Master Lin, you should rest today. I'll come again tomorrow." Lu Yu left with her men. Lin Xian let out a breath of relief. He should be able to avoid the assassination of the Violet Palace Hall for now. Forming a seal with his palms, he slowly began to cultivate. The next day Lu Yu came again. He brought Lin Xian to meet some elders and held a banquet to invite Lin Xian. After all, Lin Xian was recommended by the Mountain Sea Palace, so he was naturally valued. Of course, not everyone admired Lin Xian. For example, the younger generation. There were even some young saints who gritted their teeth at Lin Xian. Why should they treat this guy with respect? As geniuses, they were all arrogant and unruly. Now, Lin Xian was in the same generation as them, but they respected a young man like he was an elder. Those geniuses were naturally unwilling. However, in front of the elders they didn't dare to show it. After returning, Lin Xian stayed here. He asked Lu Yu to help him gather information. Firstly, he wanted to inquire about the ancient heavenly court and see if there were any spirit herbs that could extend one's lifespan. Meanwhile, he continued to cultivate the heavenly secret divine eye. At this moment, he had already finished cultivating the 13th diagram of the heavenly secret diagram. His eye technique had become stronger than before. He was preparing to comprehend the 14th diagram of the Heavenly Court. The Heavenly Court. Lu Yu also did her best to help Lin Xian gather information. However, spirit herbs that could increase one's lifespan were too precious. She couldn't find any in a short time. However, she found another piece of news. "Young Master Lin, there's news about the ancient Heavenly Court." As soon as this was said, Lin Xian was surprised. "Oh, what news?" Lu Yu said that there was a change in the ancient Heavenly Court. It seemed that something incredible had happened. A mysterious aura appeared, causing many people to be shocked. Indeed, there was no need for Lu Yu to gather information. At this moment, the news had already spread everywhere. The ancient Heavenly Court was in primordial ancient city. It was very dangerous there. Usually, only a few people were willing to take the risk to explore, but in the past few days, the number of people had suddenly increased. This was because a phenomenon of heaven and earth had appeared in the ruins of the ancient Heavenly Court, shocking everyone. In addition, the reactivation of the Purple Mansion was shocking. Everyone guessed that the ancient Heavenly Court hadn't been completely destroyed back then. Perhaps there was a possibility of it being reactivated. For a moment, the situation in primordial ancient city changed. Countless gazes gathered on the ancient heavenly court. All kinds of news were flying quickly. After Lin Xian received the news, he was also surprised. He had just investigated the ancient heavenly court, and such a terrifying change had already happened? It was really shocking. Not only the Heavenly Thunder Palace, but the other peerless sects and clan of the ancients were also investigating. Then they were shocked. More and more powerhouses gathered there. At the same time, a figure appeared in the ruins of the ancient heavenly court. It was a mysterious person wearing a black robe, and his face could not be seen clearly. The aura on his body was incomparably terrifying. He floated there, looking at the ruins in front of him, and said in a low voice, "I'm finally back." A few streams of light streaked across the sky, and a powerful holy light aura suppressed everything as it descended. The black-robed person's figure flickered, turned into a black mist, and disappeared. In the next moment, a few sage kings arrived. None of them said if there was anyone here just now. Another old man smiled and said, "I've been too nervous recently, and my eyes must be playing tricks on me. How could there be anyone here?" The middle-aged man from before was worried and carefully investigated. Indeed, he did not find any aura. He shook his head. "Maybe I saw wrongly? Quickly go and investigate." These were all powerhouses of the peerless sections. At this moment, they were here to investigate the changes in the ancient heavenly court. On the other side, the Heavenly Thunder Palace was also discussing quickly. Liu came to look for Lin Xian. "Young master, we've decided to go. Do you want to go together?" After Lin Xian heard this, he also nodded. He had long wanted to go. It seemed that he had collected enough information. This time, Liu Yu led the team, which gathered a few old men and young disciples. In addition to Lin Xian, there were not many teams, but they were all elites. Liu Yu was also a genius of the Heavenly Thunder Palace. At this moment, the chariot they were riding was driven by demonic beasts, and it quickly rose into the sky. In the ruins of the heavenly court. Although it had been reduced to ruins, it was still very vast. Moreover, there were rumors that this was only a part of it. As a clan of the ancients and a peerless sect, there were independent spaces and secret realms inside. Therefore, although it looked small from the outside, it was very likely that there was a world inside. As an existence that surpassed the clan of the ancients, the heavenly court naturally had such a space world. Therefore, this time, after those powerhouses arrived, they wanted to break through the ruins to find the entrance to the space world. Chapter 46-39. The ruins of the heavenly courts were bustling. There were people everywhere. Fortunately, the ruins were spacious. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to walk anymore. In the sky, 3 divine eagles pulled a few chariots and flew quickly. Thunder and great Tao surrounded the chariots. They were from the Sky Thunder Palace. Lin Xian sat in the chariot with Liu Yu beside him. The two of them were chatting. At this moment, another chariot flew over from another direction and blocked their path. "What's going on?" Liu Yu frowned. The guard outside said, "Princess, it's the 8th young master's chariot." "The 8th young master is from the Sky Thunder Palace too. But why is he blocking the chariot?" Liu Yu frowned and walked out. "Lao, what are you trying to do?" A tall man walked out from the opposite carriage. He was wearing a thunder battle armor that surrounded the 9 heavens. He smiled. "Liu Yu, are you still bringing that kid with you? Are you talking about Mr. Lin?" Liu Yu frowned. Lao said that he was giving face to the Mountain Sea Palace by welcoming that kid. "However, I won't give him face. Now that I've seen him, I'd like to see how powerful he is to be respected by all of you. I think he's just a good-for-nothing with no strength." Liu Yu's face darkened. "What does this have to do with you? If you don't want to see Mr. Lin, then go away. No one asked you to come. As for Mr. Lin, he's not someone you can touch." Lin Xian sat in the chariot and heard the commotion outside. He was unmoved. In these sects, it was common for geniuses to compete with each other. This Lao was also a genius, but in front of him, he was nothing. He would not be a match for him at all. So Lin Xian had no intention of going out. Outside, Lao snorted. "Did you see that? He's not coming out. Obviously, he doesn't dare to. You're definitely going to lose this time with him. Do you know that I've invited people from the Pill Cauldron sect? If we join forces, you won't be able to compete with us." The moment he said that, the surrounding guards gasped. The Pill Cauldron sect was a first-tier sect. They were much stronger than the Sky Thunder Palace. He did not expect Lao to have the ability to befriend someone from Pill Cauldron sect. Lao laughed out loud. "Just wait for your failure." After saying that, he returned to the war chariot and quickly left. Lu Yu humphed coldly. What an arrogant fellow. Just ignore him. Let's continue. The group continued to fly. A day later they descended. However, as soon as she landed, she heard the guard outside say, "Princess, there is the 8th young master's chariot not far away." Lu Yu furrowed her brows. This guy was really persistent. He snorted coldly and walked out. What was 8th brother trying to do? At the front, Lao was no longer as arrogant as before. Instead, he was following beside a man respectfully. That man wore an alchemy robe, and behind him was a cauldron with a burning divine flame. They were from Pill Cauldron School. Wulian looked around. Lao and a few other people had come because of the fame. This made him feel like he was in control of the world. Although he wasn't considered the best in the Pill Cauldron sect, he was like a god in front of these sections. At this moment, Lu Yu came down and asked coldly, "Lao, what do you want?" Lao turned around and sneered coldly. Wulian turned around and looked at the other party. He was surprised. Who was this person? His eyes lit up. Hearing this, Lao smiled and said, "This is a disciple of the Sky Thunder Palace. Her name is Lu Yu. I'll call her over now." After saying that, he turned around and said, "Lu Yu, greet Prince Huolian." Prince Huolian was from Pill Cauldron sect. Lu Yu was initially furious. However, when she saw the alchemy robe on Huolian, her expression changed. She quickly walked up and cupped her fists. "Greetings, Prince Huolian." She had no choice. The strength of Pill Cauldron sect was too terrifying. Huolian nodded and said, "Is Fairy Lu alone?" Lu Yu said that there was a friend in the war chariot who had not come down. Lao frowned. It was that guy. That guy was too arrogant. He was still in the war chariot after seeing Prince Huolian. "I'll throw him over." "Lao, don't go overboard." Lu Yu frowned. Huolian smiled. "It's okay. Maybe he doesn't know what kind of existence Pill Cauldron sect is." "Fairy Lu, it's so dangerous here. Why don't we travel together?" Lu Yu hesitated and wanted to reject. However, Lao said, "What are you thinking? This is a great honor for you. Hurry up and agree." "I think Fairy Lu will definitely not reject." Huolian's eyes flashed with a cold light. Suddenly, the surrounding aura became terrifying. The cultivation of a mid-stage Saint King spread out in all directions. Lu Yu felt immense pressure. She was only an early-stage Saint King. Although she was very close to the mid-stage Saint King, she couldn't cross that threshold. However, if she couldn't take that step, the gap between her and the other party would be like the difference between heaven and earth. "I know. I'll go and tell Prince Lin." Lu Yu nodded and went to the war chariot. "Prince, a few friends want to come with us," Lin Xian said. "All right." He also walked down. Huolian looked at the other party and then retracted his gaze. The other party's face was unfamiliar and he didn't feel any terrifying aura from him. Huolian had just come out of seclusion. Hence, he had only heard about the incident in the Purple Mansion and didn't see it with his own eyes. Hence, he didn't know Lin Xian. Otherwise, he wouldn't be standing there arrogantly. "Let's go." Huolian waved his hand and led the group away. During this period, they encountered many terrifying attacks. Huolian took out a furnace and suppressed the surroundings, blocking all dangers. Lao said from the side, "Prince Huolian's strength is getting stronger." Li was also surprised. Huolian smiled. "It's nothing. Compared to my brother, I'm still lacking. My brother can follow Lord Jiangqin to the Purple Mansion. I'm still lacking compared to him. Oh right, my brother seems to be nearby. I'll bring you to see him." "Really? That's great." Lao and the rest were overjoyed. Those who could follow Jiangqin to the Purple Mansion were definitely the top geniuses of Pill Cauldron sect. If they could befriend such a person, they would definitely benefit immensely. Lin Xian was surprised. If he remembered correctly, Jiangqin had entered the Violet Palace with him. There was a strong cultivator from the Pill Cauldron school named Jiangqin. At that time, he sensed that the other party's flame aura was extremely terrifying. Moreover, he should be an alchemist from Pill Cauldron sect. An alchemist should know more about spiritual herbs than other sections. Perhaps he could find out about a spiritual herb that could extend one's life from him. Lin Xian decided that he would make a trip to Pill Cauldron sect after the matters in the Heavenly Court were over. At the same time, a huge battle was happening in front of them. There were a few people in pill robes standing there. Surrounding them was a group of men in black armor with cold expressions. They had smiles on their faces. Chapter 46-40. The people in the red robes were probably from the Pill Cauldron school. The leader of the group had a pale face and was injured. Damn it, Serene Cloud Sect, you're too arrogant. Huiyuan, you can only blame yourself for being reckless. As long as you hand over what you just obtained, we'll give you a quick death. Otherwise you'll know what it means to live a life worse than death. The Serene Cloud Sect's expert sneered. Huiyuan gritted his teeth and said, listen up, we'll escape later. The person beside him said. The Pill Cauldron Sect's experts nodded as well. Unparalleled flames erupted from their bodies. On the other side, Yulong walked out, his eyes emitting a biting cold radiance. You want to escape with just you? He waved his hand and the people around him moved quickly. A terrifying icy law swept through the 9 heavens. Not good. Huiyuan roared and threw out a furnace to attack Yulong. At the same time the others moved as well. The battle erupted again. Serene Cloud Sect was a top existence that was not weaker than Pill Cauldron Sect. Moreover, they had twice the number of people this time. Therefore, Huiyuan and the others were in danger. Before long, their injuries became more serious. Huiyuan was hit by a blade and retreated. One of his arms was missing. He gritted his teeth and reformed his arm. His expression was extremely ugly. A look of despair appeared in his eyes. Damn it, if only Jiangchen was here. He could definitely sweep these people away. But it was a pity. On the other side, Huolian led the group and flew into the distance. She said, my brother is just ahead. Not long after she said that, they saw a battle ahead. It was Pill Cauldron Sect. Huolian's expression changed. The surrounding people were also shocked. Was someone attacking Pill Cauldron Sect? Not good, that's my brother. Huolian's eyes instantly turned red. She realized that her brother was covered in blood. The situation was very strange. The people from Sky Thunder Palace were also terrified. Who dared to attack Pill Cauldron Sect? Did they not want to live anymore? Huolian's eyes were red. He rushed forward and roared, how dare you attack Pill Cauldron Sect? Do you want to die? His cold voice spread in all directions. The battle ahead stopped and many people looked over. The void around Huolian kept shattering. Feeling the cold killing intent, Huolian's scalp went numb. The people from Serene Cloud Sect sneered. Just nice, I'll send you all to hell together. Yulong walked out and the people from the Tranquil Cloud Sect sneered as well. Huiyuan's expression changed. It would be great if other people came to help. But Huolian, his trash of a younger brother, coming here would only be sending him to his death. Who allowed you to come? Hurry up and get lost. Huiyuan roared. When Huolian discovered that it was the Tranquil Cloud Sect, his complexion also became pale. The Pill Cauldron School wasn't any weaker than them. Moreover, the other side had twice the number of people. Even if he brought the people of the Sky Thunder Palace here, what use would it be? No, he had to retreat quickly and report this to the sect. He wanted to leave. The people of the Cloud Sect had already surrounded them and sealed the world. Do you want to leave? Let's all go to hell together today. Huolian's expression turned ugly. Lao and the rest were even more terrified. Lao said, it has nothing to do with me. I am from the Sky Thunder Palace. Let us go. He didn't want to die with them. Huolian was about to go crazy from anger. This guy had been so respectful before. Now that there was danger, he actually wanted to run for his life. Damn it. He gave a cold look, but Lao ignored him. Now that these people were going to die, why would he be respectful? In front, Yulong sneered. Does the Sky Thunder Palace have the right to talk to me? Killing you is no different from killing an ant. Lei Ming was in despair. Lu Yun also snorted coldly. You have no backbone. You are not worthy of being a disciple of the Sky Thunder Palace. Lao roared. You have backbone? Aren't you afraid of death? In front of survival, everything was nothing. He had already made up his mind. He would definitely kneel down and beg for mercy later. He would give up everything and even reveal some of the secrets of the Sky Thunder Palace. It was all to save his life. Everyone was in despair. Lu Yu and the rest felt that they had to fight for their lives. Huiyuan was also in despair. Huolian was even more terrified. Although he didn't beg for mercy, he didn't dare to resist. At this moment, Huiyuan was stunned. Because he saw a familiar figure in the Sky Thunder Palace. It was him. Huiyuan was shocked and then overjoyed. If this person helped them, they would be saved. Young master, it's you. Young master, please help us. We are grateful. Huiyuan quickly bowed in the direction of the Sky Thunder Palace. His voice could be heard. The surrounding people were stunned. What's going on? Is Huiyuan asking the Sky Thunder Palace for help again? Yiyun also sneered. I think you really are at death's door, turning into an idiot. The Sky Thunder Palace was no different from an ant in front of them. The people of the Sky Thunder Palace were also stunned. Lu Yuan and the rest were stunned. What's going on? Lao was dumbfounded. He could save them? What kind of joke is this? He didn't want to die. In his opinion, this guy must be trying to shift the battle to them. Huolian couldn't understand. Was his brother so desperate that he couldn't think straight? However, at this moment, a calm voice could be heard. Do you know me? Hearing this, everyone turned around and stared at Lin Xian. Lu Yu and the rest were shocked. Lao snorted. Kid, do you want to die? Who do you think you are? Do you think he is asking you for help? Huolian was also angry. This guy still wants to save his brother? What kind of joke is this? Dream on. The other party is probably an ant. However, what made them dumbfounded was that Huiyuan flew over and said respectfully, Yes, I know, young master. When I followed Lord Jiangchen to the Purple Palace, I met you once. What's going on? Everyone was stunned as if they had been struck by lightning. Is he really asking Lin Xian for help? Even the people of the Serene Cloud sect were stunned. Are these people crazy? Who is that unfamiliar young man? Huolian was stunned. Brother, you are asking an ant for help? He couldn't believe it either. Huiyuan was furious when he heard this. He slapped Huolian's face and sent his brother flying. How dare you call young Master Lin an ant? Kneel down now. Huolian cried. Brother, why did you hit me? Huiyuan said, Not only am I going to hit you, I'm going to kill you. Young Master Lin is a top genius, a supreme existence who entered the Purple Mansion with Lord Jiangchen. How dare you offend such a person? Do you believe that I will cripple you now? As soon as these words came out, everyone was stunned. This unfamiliar young man was an existence that wasn't inferior to Jiang Chen. Lu Yu and the rest were shocked, while Lao was shocked and dumbfounded. Huolian was trembling in fear. What's going on? Chapter 46-41. With a loud bang he knelt down. Young Master Lin, I was wrong. He was so scared that he couldn't speak. Huiyuan took a deep breath. My brother is too useless. I'll punish him and give young master a satisfactory answer. Young master, please save us. Pill Cauldron sect will be grateful. Yes, young master, please. Huolian kept saying. Then he jumped up and pointed at Lao. It's all because of this guy. He misled me. He grabbed Lao and slapped him non-stop. Lao's face turned into a pig's head. Huolian roared. You stupid thing. You almost made me offend young master. Die. Lao's teeth were all knocked out. He regretted it now. He didn't know that Lin Fan was so powerful that it was scary. He cried and said, I didn't know either. Please spare my life. Spare your life? Then who will spare my life? Huolian gritted his teeth. If he didn't give Lin Xian a satisfactory answer, he would be killed by his brother. So he had to attack crazily. With one attack he turned Lao's arms into a bloody mist. At the same time he kept attacking. Lao's bones were all broken. He fell to the ground and begged for mercy. Please spare my life. Huolian looked at Lin Xian. In the end, Lin Xian closed his eyes and rested. Huolian looked at his brother. Huiyuan said, Trash, get lost. He slapped his brother away. Huiyuan walked up. How dare you offend young Master Lin? Go to hell. He took out the cauldron and destroyed Lao's body and soul. There were some Sky Thunder Palace experts beside Lao. When they saw this, they roared crazily. Punishing Lao and killing Lao were two different concepts. If Lao died, how were they going to explain it? These people's eyes were all red. Huiyuan said coldly, Why? Do you want to fight me? They lowered their heads and didn't dare to. Huiyuan snorted. Go back and tell your Sky Thunder Palace elders that I killed him. If you're unhappy, come and find me. Then Huiyuan attacked Huolian. He beat Huolian up even worse than Lao. But there was no rain. After all, Shou was his younger brother. He asked if young master was satisfied. Huolian is also crying. He is afraid that his brother will die. So, Lin Xian felt that it was about time. He had already punished those who needed to be punished. As for the Pill Cauldron sect, he really needed them. Because he wanted to cooperate with the other party. So he opened his eyes. Help you. It was not impossible. Hearing this, Huiyuan heaved a sigh of relief. That was great. Since the other party had said so, it meant that the other party had already decided to help them. Huolian's life was saved. He kept kowtowing, thanking the young master for sparing his life. Lin Xian glanced at the people in the distance and said, The Tranquil Cloud sect was an existence that was not weaker than the Pill Cauldron sect. Now that I've made a move, I'll be offending such a top-notch sect for no reason. It won't do me any good. Huiyuan took a deep breath and said, Of course I know that. You've helped us and Pill Cauldron sect is extremely grateful. We'll definitely send you a generous gift. Seeing that Lin Xian did not say anything, Huiyuan gritted his teeth and took out an old pill from his storage ring. This is what I got from the ruins. It's also the reason why I'm being chased. There's half a pill in here. It should be left behind by the ancient heavenly court. Now I'll give it to you. I swear on my life. Young master saved my life. I'll definitely thank you. My grandfather is a core elder. He'll definitely keep his word. Pill. Lin Xian was shocked. Was it left behind by the heavenly court? Did they still have it? On the other side, the people from the Tranquil Cloud sect who had been watching the show all this while also darkened when they saw the pill. The leader said coldly, "Kid, you better think carefully. Taking the pill is going against us. You'll end up in a terrible state." Although Huiyuan said that Lin Xian had entered the Purple Palace before, who knew that he had not sensed any terrifying aura from Lin Xian. In his opinion, Huiyuan might be deliberately mystifying things. Hearing that, Lin Xian waved his hand and received the pill. He said, "I hate it when people threaten me. So I'll take care of this matter. I'll protect these people." He walked up. He looked at the people from the Tranquil Cloud sect. "As for you guys, kneel on the ground obediently and kowtow. Maybe I'll spare your lives." Huiyuan heaved a sigh of relief. He saw hope. If Lin Xian were to make a move, he would definitely be able to sweep this matter clean. On the other side, the people from the Tranquil Cloud sect were enraged. "You're courting death. Is he challenging us?" Huiyuan snorted coldly. "I want to see what kind of strength you have to take care of this matter. What, you want to resist? Since that's the case, I'm afraid you'll be in despair." Lin Xian stretched out his hand. A terrifying law spread out. His aura also spread out. The surrounding people were on guard. The person from the Tranquil Cloud sect was stunned. Early stage Saint King. I think water has entered your brain. Are you trying to scare me with an early stage Saint King? The people from the Pill Cauldron sect were also stunned. Lin Xian's cultivation was much weaker than theirs. Such a person was really qualified to enter the Purple Palace. However, Huiyuan's gaze was firm. So what if he's an early stage Saint King? He had seen Lin Xian defeat a peerless expert like Jianghu with his own eyes. It was not something that could be judged by cultivation. Yulong's face darkened. A black saber appeared in his hand and he walked forward. "Go to hell." With a slash of the saber, heaven and earth were shattered. This saber made everyone feel despair. No wonder Huiyuan and the others were defeated. This Yulong was even more terrifying. Looking at this shocking saber, Lin Xian did not dodge at all. Instead, he charged forward. The surrounding people were stunned. Especially the people from the Tranquil Cloud sect. They sneered. Lin Xian dared to resist this black saber with his bare hands? One had to know that this was a top expert. Moreover, this saber was enough to split everything. Even a middle-stage Saint King would not dare to fight against it. How stupid. Yulong snorted when he saw this. In the next moment he increased his speed. He turned into a black bolt of lightning and struck Lin Xian's body. An earth-shattering sound rang out. However, everyone was dumbfounded. This saber did not split Lin Xian's palm. There was not even a crack. Lin Xian's hand was like the palm of a god, sweeping across the air. Then he grabbed the black saber. With a loud boom, the black saber was actually broken into two halves. What? The people from the Tranquil Cloud sect were dumbfounded. On the other hand, the people from the Pill Cauldron sect were also dumbfounded. What kind of power was this? His physique was too strong. Impossible? Yulong roared. It was as if he had seen the most terrifying thing. Lin Xian raised his head and looked at him. He said indifferently, "I said that if you fight with me, you will regret it." Chapter 46-42. Oh. Yulong quickly retreated. He no longer dared to underestimate the other party. The other party's strength was simply unimaginable. This was a peerless enemy that he did not dare to contend against. However, this palm enveloped heaven and earth, sealing off all his escape routes. "Damn it, I'll fight it out with you." Yulong roared, the black laws on his body dancing non-stop. His bloodline and laws were burning as he punched towards the golden palm. This was the strongest attack that he could unleash. At least it could break the other party's seal. However, it was a pity that his strongest attack landed on the golden palm. It made a deafening sound, but it was unable to shake it in the slightest. The black fist shattered and the golden palm fell. Yulong was beaten into a bloody mist. His soul flew out from the bloody mist, but it was pierced by Lin Xian's gaze. The golden flames burned the other party's soul to ashes. That. Everyone was stunned, their hearts filled with fear. That was Yulong. He was the existence that defeated Huiyuan. How terrifying was that? But now, with a single palm, with a single glance, his soul was destroyed. How powerful was the person in front of them? The people of Pill Cauldron sect were stunned. No wonder Huiyuan begged the other party so much. He was simply too powerful. The people of Sky Thunder Palace were even more shocked. The elders that Lei Ao brought were originally unconvinced. Now that they saw this scene, they were frightened and did not dare to have any thoughts of revenge. Was such a person someone they could contend against? The people of Serene Cloud sect were even more frightened. Their strongest leader had been killed in a single move. Were they still a match? In the next moment, someone walked out and said, "Please forgive us, young master. We were wrong this time. Let's go." Lin Xian said coldly, "Want to leave? Don't you think it's too late? Since we're already enemies, I won't let the tiger return to the mountain." The Yulong he killed was a top genius. Would the Serene Cloud sect let it go after knowing? Since they had already become enemies, he would not show any mercy. On the other side, the people of Serene Cloud sect were enraged after hearing this. "Damn it, you dare. Do you want to be enemies with our Serene Cloud sect? Attack together." The other people also roared crazily and quickly attacked. Someone took out a sacred weapon and charged toward Lin Xian. Someone unleashed a peerless divine ability. Between heaven and earth, it was incomparably terrifying. The surrounding people quickly retreated and looked ahead. With so many people attacking at the same time, no matter how strong a person was, they wouldn't be able to withstand it. However, it was a pity that Lin Xian shuttled through the sky full of mystiques and ultimate techniques, taking these attacks head-on. He took a leisurely stroll and did not use his full strength at all. He struck out with his palm and collided with a pagoda of his opponent. With a boom, the pagoda shattered into pieces. Boom. Lin Xian's gaze swept outwards and turned into two streaks of divine light. Three figures screamed miserably as their souls turned into nothingness and fell from the sky. It was so simple and easy. The experts of the Tranquil Cloud sect had all fallen in the blink of an eye. Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back. He turned to look at Huiyuan and said, "They have all died. You're all safe now. Remember what you promised me." Huiyuan was completely stunned. At this moment, when he heard this, he came back to his senses and took a deep breath. "Don't worry, young master. I naturally won't forget." "Is young master alone? Why don't we travel together?" Huiyuan walked up and smiled respectfully. He knew that Lin Xian used to be with the Feng clan, but they seemed to have fallen out later. This was a good opportunity. Pill Cauldron sect would definitely be happy to rope in such a top expert. "That's good too." Lin Xian nodded. He wanted to know more about Pill Cauldron sect. The group flew into the distance. Huiyuan and the others quickly swallowed pills to recover from their injuries. Pill Cauldron sect had nothing but pills. Moreover, they were all top alchemists, so they recovered very quickly. Huiyuan explained the situation to Lin Xian. Obviously, all the top sects and clans of the remote antiquity were here. They all wanted to explore the ruins. There was even a rumor that there was a mysterious space here that had not been destroyed. On the other side, dark clouds covered the sky. Countless figures stood on top of them. Suddenly, one of them frowned. With a wave of his hand, he took out a soul token. That soul token was already broken into two. Yulong had fallen. His eyes shone with a shocking light. At the same time, another elder beside him took out a soul token as well. This time he took out even more. There were at least a dozen of them, and all of them were broken. Not good. I'm afraid one of our teams has fallen. When the others from Serene Cloud sect heard this, they were in an uproar. Who is it? The evil spirit's eyes shone with a terrifying light. No matter who it is, anyone who dares to lay their hands on Serene Cloud sect will definitely die. Lin Xian did not know that he had already been targeted by the evil spirit. But even if he knew, so what? There were some things that he was not afraid of. At this moment, they had already arrived at the ruins. Everywhere was broken. Moreover, it was extremely dangerous. Some of the broken swords and sabers could soar into the sky at any time, turning into unparalleled fighting power. Huiyuan pointed to a place in the distance. "That's where I got that pill from earlier on. I'm lucky. If we go further in, it'll be extremely dangerous. There are 7 broken swords standing in 7 different directions. It's extremely terrifying. I even saw a middle-stage Sage King expert who wanted to go further. In the end, he was sliced into 2. When the surrounding people heard this, they all sucked in a cold breath. A broken sword from tens of thousands of years ago still had such power. How terrifying would these swords be when they were in perfect condition? At the very least, it had to be used by the great sage. What was the battle like back then? What kind of existence was it? Why did it destroy the heavenly court? Lin Xian was also curious. He said that he would go and take a look. His body flashed and he took the initiative. Huiyuan and the rest quickly followed. Indeed, they encountered many attacks. Some were not even broken swords or sabers, but only some pieces of Wuxia's fragments. But they were also quite terrifying. They saw a Wu in front of them. Wuxia's fragments had already pierced through 2 sage kings. Therefore they were on high alert. Next, they also encountered some attacks. These people attacked with all their might and moved forward carefully. Suddenly the ground split open. It was a broken mirror. There was only a corner, but it was incomparably terrifying. Not good. Luyu and the others were enveloped. They felt that they were about to be torn apart. At this moment, a golden figure descended like a god and arrived in front of them. With a kick he sent the fragment flying. This saved Luyu and the others' lives. Thank you, young Master Lin. Luyu heaved a sigh of relief. It was too dangerous. If it weren't for Lin Xian, they wouldn't have dared to come to such a place. The others also came and went. They didn't expect that there would be such a powerful person in this team. Lin Xian looked around and realized that people were dying from time to time. It was obvious that they couldn't stop these Wuxia's attacks didn't matter. He didn't pay any attention to him. With a wave of his hand he left. He led his people and flew forward. After leaving this place, everyone heaved a sigh of relief. However, at this moment the void in front of them split open. Chapter 46-43. Not good. Huiyuan and the rest felt chills down their spines. The power of the broken sword was too terrifying. Lin Xian struck out with the man-ruler seal, pushing the broken sword back. He frowned. The power of the broken sword was beyond his imagination. The broken sword floated in the air, emitting endless sword qi that swept across the area. Luyu, Huiyuan, and the rest were grateful for young master's help. That attack was too dangerous. If not, they would have been injured or even killed. The broken sword was terrifying. Lu Yuan took a look at his surroundings and the broken sword. He then took a deep breath. This was one of the 7 top-grade broken swords. Who would have thought that they would encounter it? A broken sword was nothing. It could be suppressed. Lin Xian nodded. Although he could not break the broken sword, it was not a problem to suppress the seal. But at that moment, Huiyuan turned his head and looked into the distance. He cursed silently. Not good. They saw a black cloud flying towards them. At the same time, there were 3 broken swords behind the black cloud that were charging towards them. Everyone was in despair. Damn it, Serene Cloud Sect. Young Master, retreat. They could not defend against the 4 broken swords. But unfortunately it was too late. The people of Serene Cloud Sect were already nearby. Their bodies gradually dissipated. I heard that you obtained a pill here. You were really lucky. But this time you have used up your luck. Go to hell. A cold voice sounded. The 3 broken swords were already charging towards them. Huiyuan and the rest's faces darkened. It was too despicable. The 3 broken swords were charging towards them together. This was a scene of death. Retreat. The elders of the Heavenly Thunder Palace also roared. Lin Xian looked at Huiyuan and said, You should have no problem suppressing a broken sword with your men. Huiyuan nodded and said, If we go all out, there will be no problem. But there are still 3 more. Indeed, that was what he was most worried about. Lin Xian smiled and said, Leave the rest to me. He walked out, his figure like a demon god. Lu Yu and the rest were stunned. Huiyuan said, Gong Zi, this broken sword is terrifying. Don't take it head on. Don't worry, leave it to me. Lin Xian soared into the sky and at the same time, sent a palm strike towards the 3 broken swords enveloping them. He brought them to a place far away. Huiyuan gritted his teeth. Young master, be careful. We have to suppress this broken sword with all our might. As he spoke, he waved his hand and led his men to attack quickly. Those from the Pill Cauldron School attacked while asking, Senior Brother Huiyuan, can that brat succeed? Huiyuan said, Show some respect to him. He saved our lives. And this time, he didn't mention any conditions and took the initiative to take away the 3 broken swords. This is our benefactor. We must call him young Master Lin, understand? We cannot be ungrateful. Senior brother, you're right. We understand. The surrounding people quickly nodded as well. Huiyuan looked into the distance and said, he hoped that Yi Futian was fine. In front of him, the 3 broken swords let out a deafening sound as they tore the golden hand into pieces. Lin Xian stood with his hands clasped behind his back, looking at the 3 broken swords, his eyes emitting a biting cold light. It had to be said that the heavenly court back then was truly terrifying. The three broken swords were now like three peerless powerhouses, making him feel a sense of awe. The three broken swords separated and enveloped Lin Xian, emitting a terrifying light. Then they turned into lightning and charged towards Lin Xian. Every attack was aimed at Lin Xian's vital points. Each of the three broken swords was extremely terrifying and indestructible. When they worked together, they were even more terrifying. They didn't look like three weapons at all, but three peerless powerhouses. Lin Xian waved his fist to fight back. At this moment, a broken sword appeared in front of him, breaking through his fist shadows and charging towards him. Lin Xian raised his hand to block but was forced back. His entire arm was numb. It was really shocking. If it were any other time, he would definitely study it carefully. However, he couldn't do so now. There were powerhouses everywhere searching. Perhaps he would find something new at some point. Therefore, he decided to use some of his trump cards. He formed a seal with his palm. Mountain Embracing Seal. The primordial demon mountain tore through the void and charged down, pressing towards one of the broken swords and suppressing it. That sword emitted a terrifying light as it resisted. Endless patterns appeared on its body, interweaving with the great Tao, forming a sword shadow that slashed towards the primordial demon mountain. It was like a divine sword from the 9 heavens. A sonorous sound rang out and the primordial demon mountain shook. Lin Xian roared. Suppress. On the surface of the primordial demon mountain, endless terrifying light erupted, completely suppressing one of the broken swords. The other 2 broken swords charged towards the primordial demon mountain. Lin Xian waved his hand, and the Taiji diagram appeared in his left hand, enveloping one of the broken swords. With his right hand he directly attacked and grabbed it. That broken sword was like a giant dragon, crazily attacking. Lin Xian roared towards the sky, and the power of the Taiji diagram erupted, sealing it. The other sword was thrown to the ground by Lin Xian. Boom! Boundless sword light flew out from his palm and bombarded the broken sword. Then it sealed the broken sword. On the other side, Huiyuan and the others also worked together to repel the broken sword. They flew quickly. Lu Yu was anxious, wondering how young Master Lin was doing. Huiyuan said, hoping that he was fine. With his strength, even if he couldn't suppress it, it wouldn't be a problem for him to leave safely. Suddenly they stopped. Because they felt an extremely terrifying aura around them, as if an earth-shattering battle had happened here. Just this aura alone made Huiyuan and the others' hair stand on end. What was going on? Could it be that? Lu Yu and the others didn't dare to imagine. But at this moment, a voice sounded from behind them. It seems that you guys have settled it too. Hearing this voice, Lu Yu suddenly turned her head, and her tears turned into laughter. Young Master Lin, you're fine. That's great. Huiyuan also walked over and said, our benefactor is mighty. At this moment, in front of them, a huge aura spread out, and then a terrifying power erupted. Not good, a peak grand sage was fighting again. Everyone was shocked and looked up. Many older generation figures had appeared, fighting between heaven and earth. They didn't know what they were fighting for. Lin Xian said, let's go. He took the lead and quickly flew into the distance. The battle there was extremely intense. He came nearby to watch. At this moment, between heaven and earth, a huge hand came down from the sky, sending everything flying. Those peak Saint Kings also retreated one after another. How terrifying. Everyone was dumbfounded. This power had completely surpassed that of a grand sage. The great sage had made his move. As expected. The great sage's figure appeared between heaven and earth, and all the grand sage retreated. The great sage's hand reached out and grabbed the ruins of the palace, as if he were searching for something. In the next moment he took the broken palace and soared into the sky, wanting to leave. But at this moment, the storm in the sky directly enveloped the great sage's hand. Heavens, someone was attacking the great sage. Lu Yu and the others had just arrived when they saw this scene. They were so scared that they almost fainted. Huiyuan also took a deep breath. It was someone from the Wind Tribe. That's right, the storm in the sky was the great sage of the Wind Tribe. After the great sage of the Wind Tribe, another person attacked. It was as if 100,000 suns had descended together. Chapter 46-44. What a terrifying flame. It was the great sage of the Golden Crow tribe. Everyone was shocked. At this moment, another terrifying black cloud filled the air. The terrifying aura was incomparably cold. Everyone felt as if they had arrived in hell. Some people were terrified. The great sage of the Serene Cloud sect had arrived. 4 great sages joined the fight. Their terrifying power broke through the heavens and earth. At this moment a roar sounded. A ray of light streaked across the sky. It was so fast that no one could see it. It was the great sage of the Light Tribe. Are they here too? The great sage of the remote antiquity family had finally appeared. After the great sage of the Light Clan, the great sage of the Sagely Heavens clan arrived with a sky full of sagely light. Everyone was horrified. The battle ahead was even more terrifying. In the sky, a divine cauldron appeared. Monstrous divine flames covered the entire area. It was the great sage of the Pill Cauldron sect, who had also arrived. The great sage of the top sects and remote antiquity families had arrived. The other sage kings had all retreated far away. But the entire void was shattered into pieces. Even the shattered ruins were reduced to rubble and scattered in all directions. Many of them flew towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a golden radiance. In the next moment, a sharp radiance burst out. He stretched out his hand and grabbed in front of him. Could it be that there was a treasure that had fallen? When the others saw this, they exclaimed. In an instant, more than 10 figures rushed towards Lin Xian. It seemed that they wanted to snatch the treasure too. At this moment, someone roared, "Get lost!" A golden claw appeared between the heavens and earth, tearing everything apart. More than 10 figures flew backwards. Their faces were filled with fear. Someone exclaimed. It was an expert of the Golden Crow tribe. Golden Crow how descended in a domineering manner and stretched out a huge golden hand to grab at the surrounding void. The surrounding void kept shattering. Everyone saw that there was only one thing that was intact. It was a fragment. There were many patterns on it, like a corner of a tortoise shell. There seemed to be something recorded on the ancient tortoise shell. Everyone was shocked. However, Golden Crowhow's appearance caused everyone to be afraid, and no one dared to step forward. This was a top-notch genius and expert. He was afraid that the person who attacked earlier was going to be in trouble. Jianghu snorted coldly. You think you're qualified to take this? Killing intent surged from its body. Lu Yu, Huiyuan and the others quickly retreated. Lin Xian sneered. A loser like you still has the face to be arrogant in front of me? He clenched his hand into a fist and punched out, shattering all the light on his opponent's body. Lin Xian waved his hand and covered the tortoiseshell completely. How dare you? Another cold snort was heard, and a man in armor appeared in the sky. This person had an ice-cold power. Everyone was terrified. Was he here too? After the spirit arrived, it stared at Lin Xian and handed the item over. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Speak with your own ability. Golden swords burst out from his eyes and pierced forward. You want to contend against me with just you? A demonic sword flew out and swept in all directions. It met Lin Xian's gaze. Heaven and earth collapsed. Then the spirit charged over. On the other side, Jianghu attacked as well. It seemed that they both wanted to take the tortoiseshell. Not good. Everyone was flabbergasted. Even though Lin Xian had displayed his prowess earlier on, but right now it was Evil Spirit and Jianghu who were working together. Could he fight against them? Huiyuan was terrified. Then he shouted, Great, the top genius of Pill Cauldron sect is here. Lord Jiangchen, please save him. Jiangchen was in the sky, and there were 4 fire dragons under his feet, bearing their fangs and claws. A cauldron floated in his hand as he stared at Lin Xian. Then he asked coldly, Why did you save him? Huiyuan said, He saved us previously. That's your problem. He might be holding a treasure from the heavenly court. Hand it over and I'll let him go. A cold voice rang out. Huiyuan and the others' faces turned ugly. They did not expect Lord Jiangchen to attack Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted coldly. If you want the treasure, let's talk with your strength. With a roar, Shaoqin sent out 3 man-ruler seals, one after another. Then, 3 man-ruler seals charged towards the 3. You're courting death. Jianghu was furious and the spirit sneered. You want to challenge the 3 of us alone? You don't have the right to do so. Jiangchen said coldly with the cauldron in his hand. Since you saved the disciples of Pill Cauldron sect, I won't kill you but I'll suppress you. The cauldron opened and a torrent of fire rushed out, enveloping Lin Xian. Not good. Everyone was stunned. However, a sword light tore through the fire and Lin Xian walked out. There's only one treasure. Who should I give it to? A tortoise shell floated above his hand, and in the next moment, a golden light appeared in his eyes. He had already used an illusion. Indeed, with the tortoise shell and the illusion, the 3 experts were no longer working together. Lin Xian charged forward. The 4 of them fought fiercely. This time they were really fighting for themselves. The surrounding sages did not think much of it. They thought that everyone would fight for themselves when they saw the treasure. However, some of the older experts were shocked when they saw this. This was unusual. This young man must have used some kind of trick. It was too scary. After 300 moves, the spirit suddenly shouted, "Damn it, how dare you use an illusion on me!" The phantom of an evil sword appeared in his eyes, destroying everything. Jianghu also roared, "Unforgivable." Jianghu roared, "Damn brat, how dare you sneak attack me?" The three of them were really angry. Had they unknowingly fallen for the opponent's illusion? Lin Xian laughed and grabbed the tortoiseshell again. "The three of you are just SOSO." As he spoke, he pushed his hands forward and a Taiji diagram appeared. The yin-yang sword swept forward. The three of them roared furiously as they sent all the sword chi flying and charged over. This time the three of them were working together and were prepared. They were probably in danger. Lin Xian sneered. So what if he was fighting the three of them alone? Come on. His black hair fluttered in the wind as he opened his hands. Endless sword chi erupted from his body. At that moment he seemed to have transformed into a peerless god of war. He was extremely powerful. For a moment the three of them could not take him down. That shocked everyone. At that moment, another cold snort sounded. A large golden hand enveloped them. Boom. The expressions of Jiang Chen and the others changed. The power was also terrifying. It was not weaker than theirs. In the next moment they quickly retreated. With a boom, a large crack appeared in front of them. Following that, a man in purple walked over. The power on his body suppressed heaven and earth. "You Wu Dao." Jin Wuhao snorted coldly. "Are you going to interfere in our business? Lin Xian is my friend. You can fight one-on-one, but if you want to fight 3-on-1, you have to ask me first." Yi Wudao was extremely powerful. Lin Xian laughed. "Wudao, you came at the right time. Let's work together to take him down." Chapter 46-45. Are you looking down on us? The evil spirit gnashed its teeth, its expression ugly. Each and every one of them was a top genius, qualified to enter the Violet Palace realm. But now, the two of them wanted to fight against the three of them. Were they looking down on them? The three of them took a step forward, shaking the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Lin Xian and Yi Wudao were like two gods of war, fearless. At that moment a sigh sounded. Another glamorous figure approached them. Wind Phoenix. She came to Yi Wudao's side with the power of wind. Although Lin Xian hadn't given her face last time, Yi Wudao was still her guest. Now that Yi Wudao had made a move, she couldn't just sit back and watch. The 6 powerhouses faced each other, their terrifying auras suppressing the 9 heavens. At that moment, the sky shattered and a boundless aura pressed down. Everyone felt like their bodies were about to be torn apart. A furious roar sounded like a million claps of thunder. A man clad in armor, shining with the great Tao, stepped into the air with the power of the ocean. He walked over like a supreme emperor. He charged at the great sage. Heavens, the great sage has arrived. And his strength was too terrifying. Who was he? Countless sects were shocked. They couldn't tell which faction he belonged to. But a huge battle broke out in the sky. The mysterious man struck out with his palm, and the light around him turned into a heavenly blade that swept in all directions. Retreat. Lin Xian and the others narrowed their eyes. Although the other party wasn't targeting them, the aura he emitted was enough to threaten their lives. The great sage was too terrifying. The great sage and the sky gradually stopped fighting each other and attacked the ground. They tore the earth apart. The endless void shattered and the earth split apart. The terrifying scene was vast and everyone was stupefied. What were these great sages trying to do? A moment later they saw that the attacks of the great sages were all bounced back. There was something under the ground. Everyone's eyes lit up. Even Lin Xian's eyes shone with a terrifying light as he looked over. The next moment he sucked in a breath of cold air. What a terrifying array formation. As expected, the ancient heavenly court still retained some mysterious space. There must be an inheritance left behind by the ancient heavenly court under this formation. Countless people's eyes turned red. They could only watch from afar. The great sage in front of them also took a deep breath and attacked aggressively. After a series of terrifying attacks, the great sage frowned. They realized that the array formation below them was too powerful. With their strength alone, they were unable to break it. From the looks of it, it was impossible to use brute force. The only way to enter was to break the formation. The great sage of the Light Clan did not give up. He transformed into an aurora and attacked again with extreme speed. The other great sage also joined forces and prepared to try again. At this rate, the formation would break apart sooner or later. The surrounding sages clenched their fists tightly. It was useless. Even if they fought for 100 years, they still wouldn't be able to open it. At this moment, a calm voice rang out. Hearing this, everyone turned to look. Who was it? Was he doubting the strength of the great sage? Lin Xian was also surprised and turned to look. In the next moment he was stunned. Hearing this, Jianghu Hao sneered. How stupid. The strength of the great sage is not something you can imagine. Wuxia and the rest frowned as well. They saw a black-robed man walking over. The black aura around him was even stranger than the people of the Serene Cloud sect. They could not tell who the other party was. Lin Xian was stunned. This aura was too familiar. Wasn't this He Shan? He was actually here. Old man, you still like to act mysterious. Lin Xian laughed. Yu Wudao was surprised. You know him? Lin Xian nodded. Old friend. He Shan also turned his head. Kit, you've grown faster than I thought. You've come to Taiching Ancient City so quickly. Don't leave during this period of time. I'll give you a big gift. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. For He Shan to call it a big gift, it must be extraordinary. Could it be related to the ancient heavenly court? He Shan did not say anything. He smiled mysteriously and looked at Jianghu Hao. Don't use your eyes to judge this matter. Your understanding of the great sage is nothing more than that. They can't break this array. Indeed, half a day had passed. In front of them, hundreds of worlds were destroyed, but the array was still intact. Jianghu Hao and the rest's faces turned ugly. What level of array was this? It was too scary. Lin Xian was also surprised. He asked He Shan, do you have a way? He Shan laughed. I naturally have a way. Unless those great sage come and beg me, I might be able to help them. They're overestimating themselves. Jianghu Hao sneered. Who do you think you are? I haven't eaten golden crow meat in a long time. Kid, let me have a taste of 2 golden crows later. He Shan looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian said, don't worry, I miss the taste of golden crow meat too. You're courting death. Jianghu Hao roared and charged over. Lin Xian sent out a palm strike, sending him flying backward. However, at that moment, 2 figures flashed past and charged at Lin Xian. Lin Xian jumped in fright and hurriedly used Void Escape to dodge. Then 2 golden crows appeared. They were 2 experts of the older generation. Their eyes were filled with killing intent. How dare you disrespect the Golden Crow tribe? You're courting death. The 2 elders charged at Lin Xian. How dare you? Yu Wudao roared and wanted to attack. However, the evil spirits blocked him. Don't meddle in other people's affairs. He Shan looked at the scene and smiled. Do you need me to help you? Lin Xian said, don't worry. I don't care about these 2 old things. Don't you want to eat golden crow meat? I'll let you have a taste today. After saying that, he clapped his hands. A few black figures flew out from the demon beasts. Then a terrifying roar shook the heavens and the earth. The ice fire swan rushed out and used the law of ice to sweep out. The blackwater mystical snake charged out with the power of the Black Sea. It charged at the 2 elders. At the same time, another dozen demon beasts flew out. Lin Xian looked at Jianghu Hao and the other 2. Don't you like to bully others with numbers? Today I'll let you know what it feels like to be attacked by a group. He waved his hand and the dozen demon beasts all charged out. Damn it. Jianghu Hao roared and tried to use his bloodline to increase the pressure. However, it was useless. The demon beasts were all controlled and were not afraid at all. They charged over crazily and exploded in an instant. The surrounding people were stunned. Where did so many demon beasts come from? Even Feng Huang was stunned. Lin Xian had such a trick up his sleeve. Yu Wudao sneered. These people deserved it. He Shan was shocked. This kid can control so many demon beasts. Is he a beast tamer? Chapter 46-46. Golden Crow Hao, Evil Spirit, and Jiang Qin roared in anger. Although they were top prodigies, these beasts were not afraid of death. Some of them even burned their bloodline and laws to fight them. How could they be a match for them? They did not want to waste their lives. Hence they quickly retreated. Their faces were pale. No way, 3 top prodigies were defeated by a single person. The surrounding people were stunned. Golden Crow Hao gritted his teeth and his face darkened. That damned brat borrowing the power of beasts was nothing. Lin Xian sneered. The 3 of you ganged up on me just now, what was that? Why do you want to fight me one-on-one? I'll only use 1 hand. Golden Crow Hao did not dare to speak. He was no match for Lin Xian. He gritted his teeth, hoping that the 2 elders could kill these beasts. However, the elders were not in good condition either. The ice fire swan had mastered the laws of ice and fire. The blackwater mystical snake was a rare beast with terrifying strength. In the end, one of the elders was sent flying while spitting out blood. The other elder's body was torn apart. His body wanted to heal, but Black Mountain waved his hand and a black aura formed a large net that sealed half of his body. Great, I'll eat golden crow meat later. The elder was so angry that he vomited blood. He quickly escaped and his body reformed in another place. His face was extremely pale. They glared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian sneered. As a senior, you can't even defeat a young man like me. What right do you have to stay here? The Golden Crow elder gritted his teeth in anger, but there was nothing he could do with the powerful beasts guarding him. Golden Crow Hao, Evil Spirit, and Jiang Chen's faces were cold. The fact that they could not defeat Lin Xian together made them feel ashamed. Lin Xian looked at Black Mountain and asked, "Can't you break it?" Black Mountain shook his head. Now was not the time. They could not break it with their strength alone. They could only break it with a formation. All right, since that was the case, Lin Xian did not plan to stay here any longer. He prepared to leave. Huiyuan walked up and said, "Young master, follow me back to Pill Cauldron sect. I will definitely repay young master." Lin Xian said. With Jiang Chen's attitude towards me, is there a need for me to go back? Huiyuan gritted his teeth. He was him and they were them. You saved me, my grandfather is a core elder. If you go to Pill Cauldron school you won't be in any danger. I can swear on my life. Lin Xian nodded. Alright, I'd like to see it for myself. After bidding farewell to He Shan, Yi Wudao, Lu Yun, and the others, Lin Xian and Huiyuan set off for Pill Cauldron School. The Pill Cauldron School was a top-notch school. More importantly, most of its members were alchemists. Some of them were even extremely powerful alchemists. After returning to the Pill Cauldron School, many people were surprised. They didn't expect Huiyuan to bring a guest. They were puzzled. Who was this person? Was he worthy of their attention? Huiyuan said that he was my savior? He brought Lin Xian to his residence and said, "Young Master Lin, please rest first. If you need anything just let me know." Lin Xian nodded and set up an array formation to rest. He recovered some of his strength and adjusted himself to his peak state. Then he took out a pill box. It was the pill box that Huiyuan gave him. The pill box was very old. After opening it, a pill fell out. It was only half of a pill and it was already petrified. He wondered if it could still be used. Lin Xian frowned. He used his strength but the pill didn't shatter. He was surprised. With his strength, even an ordinary sacred artifact would be shattered. But the pill didn't shatter. That really shocked him. Could this thing be used? He was very doubtful. He kept it. Then he took out the 3 broken swords. He had sealed them and brought them back. Lin Xian felt that they were powerful weapons. He could use them when necessary. Lin Xian used his Tianji God eyes to imprint his soul on them. Then he kept them again. On the second day Huiyuan came again. This time he took out a storage ring and said, "Young master, thank you for saving my life. Here are some pills that I have collected. There are pills for healing, recovery, increasing strength and even soul strengthening. Young master, if you need anything else just let me know." Lin Xian took it and found that there were thousands of pills inside. He was really surprised. He said, "This is enough. Alright, there are some things that I hope you can help me find out. Young master, please tell me when you need it." Lin Xian said, "I want to find a spiritual medicine or pill that can prolong one's life. Do you know?" Huiyuan was surprised. He said, "There are such spiritual medicines but they are very precious. Our Pill Cauldron sect has a lot of information about spiritual medicines. I'll do it right away." Okay. Lin Xian stayed here for the time being. After about 5 days Huiyuan came again. This time he brought a woman. He said, "Young Master Lin, let me introduce you. This is my sister." The woman was wearing a red robe and the flame aura on her was extremely cold. The woman said, "My name is Dan Feng. I have something to talk to you about." At this moment the flame said, "She is my sister. Although we are not related by blood, she grew up in our Pill Cauldron sect. She was raised by my grandfather so we have a good relationship. She won't harm you." More importantly, Dan Feng was a top-notch genius. Her strength and talent in alchemy were not inferior to Jiang Chen's at all. Lin Xian was surprised to hear that. Pill Cauldron sect was hiding such a genius. He nodded slightly to show that he understood. Huiyuan smiled and said, "Dan Feng's sister, I'll go out first." He turned and left. Lin Xian invited Dan Feng in and asked, "Fairy Dan Feng, why are you looking for me?" Dan Feng said, "I'll get straight to the point. I heard that you got a pill from Huiyuan." "You got it from the ruins of the Heavenly Court?" Lin Xian said, "That's right. I saved his life and he gave me the pill. Does Fairy Dan Feng want to take it back now? Dan Feng smiled. How can I take it back? I just want to ask if the pill has been petrified and can't be absorbed. Lin Xian was surprised. How did you know? On second thought, it might be Huiyuan who told her. After all, Huiyuan got it first. Actually, he didn't know that Huiyuan gave it to Lin Xian before he had the chance to examine it. Opposite him, Huiyuan's eyes flickered. I think you don't know how to absorb it. You even think it's a useless pill. Lin Xian said, that's right. Do you have a way? Dan Feng said, if you trust me I can try. If I succeed we have to absorb the power of the pill together. Do you agree? Lin Xian thought for a while and said, sure. Although he knew alchemy he couldn't do anything about the petrified pill. Chapter 46-47. Alright, there's no time to lose. Let's get started. Dan Feng took it back and took out a furnace. There were 4 fire phoenixes circling the furnace. It was terrifying. Lin Xian was surprised. Then he took out the petrified pill. The fire phoenix said, give me some time and I'll stay here for the time being. Then she began to use her own method to crack the petrified pill. Lin Xian began to study the tortoiseshell when he had nothing to do. There were many great Tao talismans recorded on the tortoiseshell. It was extremely mysterious. He needed to understand and experience it well. Lin Xian had been studying it for the past few days. He felt as if he had entered a magical world. Then he took a deep breath. It was incredible. Under his heavenly secret divine eye, he discovered that all the Tao patterns on the tortoiseshell were intertwined and finally formed an ancient character. Heavens! The Tao intent on it was so faint that it was almost invisible. It was obvious that after 10,000 years, it had almost disappeared. However, it still remained. Moreover, ordinary people couldn't detect it at all. If Lin Xian didn't have the heavenly secret divine eye, he probably wouldn't have been able to detect it. He had to use the power of reincarnation to detect it. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. The power of reincarnation was related to the heavenly court? Then he seemed to have thought of something and took out the 3 sealed broken swords again. He used the power of reincarnation of the heavenly secret eye to observe carefully. He discovered that there was indeed a great Tao on it. However, it wasn't complete. Could it be? Lin Xian said to Dan Feng. Then he left Pill Cauldron Sect and went to the ruins of the ancient heavenly court again. He suppressed the remaining 4 battle swords and brought them back. The 7 battle swords were connected together. Lin Xian finally discovered that the great Tao on it had also formed an ancient character. This was the Tao of the heavenly court. Lin Xian was too shocked. He went to search again but found that there were only a few pieces of Wu. Apart from the 7 broken swords and the tortoise shell, he didn't find a third one. These 7 broken swords and tortoise shell must have been extraordinary back in the day. Lin Xian returned to the Pill Cauldron Sect and continued to meditate. Although there were only 2 ancient characters, the Tao contained within them shocked Lin Xian. Lin Xian decided to comprehend the heavenly court's Tao. Outside, in Grand Clarity Ancient City, news was flying everywhere. There was news about the ancient heavenly court every day, but none of it was good news. The great sage hadn't been able to take them down, so they could only go back and think of other ways. Countless people were also frantically exploring and fighting in the ruins. However, due to the great sage's repeated cooperation, the Peerless Array was activated and swept across the land. Many people were instantly killed, their bodies and souls destroyed. As a result, the ruins of the ancient heavenly court became even more dangerous than before. Those Wu the Chi fragment also seemed to have received a boost of power and became even more terrifying. None of this had anything to do with Lin Xian. Lin Xian had been meditating for the past 2 months. On the other side, the Red Phoenix Eye was trying her best to break the petrified pill. Finally, she succeeded. She said, "Young Master Lin, it's done." Lin Xian put away the broken sword and tortoiseshell, then walked out. As expected, there were countless cracks on the petrified pill and power surged out. He and the Red Phoenix sat down cross-legged and began to absorb the half of the pill. This was actually a pill that increased soul power. Lin Xian was really happy. Once his soul became stronger, his heavenly secret divine eye would also become stronger. Using the heavenly secret divine eye to cast the power of reincarnation would allow him to comprehend the heavenly court's Tao faster. On the other side, the Red Phoenix was also happy. She also needed a strong soul power to refine pills, so the 2 of them absorbed with all their might. After about 10 days, a terrifying soul storm surged out from the 2 of them. It swept out in all directions. At this moment, countless people were in an uproar. The people of the Pill Cauldron sect were shocked. What a terrifying soul power. Was someone about to break through? They all turned their heads to look. On the other side, Jiang Chen also felt this soul power. It was too terrifying. There was someone in the younger generation who had such a soul. Who was it? Was it the Red Phoenix? Jiang Chen's figure flashed and he quickly walked over. Soon he arrived in front of the mansion. This was Hu Yuan's mansion. He was not surprised that the Red Phoenix Eye was here. After all, the Red Phoenix Eye was Hu Yuan's sister. When he looked down with his soul, he frowned. He realized that the Red Phoenix Eye was not alone. There was another person sitting beside the Red Phoenix Eye. And it was not Hu Yuan. Who was it? A cold murderous intent appeared in his eyes. The Red Phoenix Eye was the top genius of the Pill Cauldron sect. Moreover, she was extremely beautiful. He had long regarded her as his. He would never allow anyone else to sit beside the Red Phoenix Eye. With the protection of the array, he could not see the other party's face clearly. He immediately snorted coldly. Jiang Chen waited outside. He did not believe that the other party would not come out. Standing in the void, Jiang Chen emitted a cold murderous intent that swept through the 9 heavens. The surrounding disciples who had rushed over were also extremely frightened. They all retreated. The soul storm in front of them lasted for a long time before it slowly disappeared. The Red Phoenix Eye and Lin Xian both opened their eyes. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. The Red Phoenix Eye was also happy. This time her strength had increased a lot, especially her soul power. Lin Xian was the same. He felt that his heavenly secret divine eyes had become stronger than before. He had broken through the 14th heavenly secret map. He thought that he could condense more reincarnation power. It was really an unexpected joy. However, in the next moment when he felt the terrifying murderous intent outside, he frowned. The Red Phoenix Eye was the same. She snorted coldly and walked out. Looking at the figure in front of her, she frowned and said, "Jiang Chen, are you releasing your murderous intent towards me? What? Do you want to fight me? I don't mind fighting with you. Compete in martial arts or alchemy." The surrounding people exclaimed when they saw it. It was indeed the Red Phoenix Eye. Her strength had become stronger than before. Jiang Chen's face darkened. Hearing the discussions around him, he snorted coldly. "Those who want to die can stay here. Those who don't want to die, scram." The terrifying murderous intent swept out in all directions. The surrounding people retreated in fear. Soon there was no one left except for Lin Xian and the other two. Jiang Chen landed. He looked at the Red Phoenix Eye and said, "I'm not targeting you. Why would I attack you?" After saying that, he looked at Lin Xian again. An extremely cold murderous intent appeared in his eyes. "Kid, who asked you to come here? This is the Pill Cauldron sect." Previously, the 3 of them had failed to take down Lin Xian, causing him to lose face. Now that he saw Lin Xian again, he was naturally filled with murderous intent. The Red Phoenix snorted coldly. "Why can't he be here? Young Master Lin is my guest. Do you have a problem with that? How dare you speak up for him?" Jiang Chen was completely enraged. He really couldn't stand it. "Kid, stand out if you're a man. Do you think you can live with the Red Phoenix Eye protecting you?" Lin Xian also laughed. "What? Do you want to attack me?" Chapter 46-48. Last time, I didn't use all my strength and trump cards. Otherwise, do you think you could have survived? Jiang Chen said coldly. "Now, hand over what you got obediently." Dan Feng said. "This is my place. Aren't you being too presumptuous? Jiang Chen, if you continue like this, I'll kick you out." Jiang Chen roared. "How can you treat me like this? Don't you understand my feelings for you? Also, this kid got what the ancient heavenly court left behind. Don't you want it? Everyone has their own fortuitous encounters. Since young Master Lin obtained the treasure, then it belongs to him. Naturally, I won't interfere. As for your feelings, I don't understand and I don't want to understand. Hurry up and leave. I don't welcome you." Jiang Chen was about to go crazy. A terrifying flame burst out from his eyes as he charged towards Lin Xian. This was the soul fire. Together with the overflowing divine fire, it was extremely terrifying. Lin Xian snorted coldly. The heaven's secret map in his eyes bloomed. Similarly, a soul sword flew out and blasted forward. An earth-shattering sound rang out. Jiang Chen felt a piercing pain in his eyes. He retreated and his expression turned even uglier. Damn it. The other party's soul power was so strong too. Not weaker than him? Damn it. With a roar, the heavenly fire burned. He was going to go all out and kill this kid. At this moment, Dan Feng stepped out. The power of fire wind spread out from her body as she shouted. "Are you really going to attack? Don't blame me for being impolite. Alright, just you wait. Jiang Qin roared and turned to leave. Seeing the other party's figure disappear, Dan Feng sighed. I'm sorry for offending him because of me. Lin Xian said. It's fine. Even if it wasn't for you, I still had some conflicts with him. We fought in the Heavenly Court ruins before, so you don't have to feel guilty. Dan Feng said. I didn't expect your soul power to be so strong. Also, it seems like you've cultivated a special eye technique. Lin Xian nodded and smiled. You should be a top-grade pill, right? Why don't we exchange pointers? You know how to refine pills too. Dan Feng was even more surprised. Lin Xian said. I know a little. I can't compare to a pill genius like you. Alright, let's spar then. The pill phoenix was in high spirits. The two people started sparring in the following time. During this time, Huiyuan also came. Seeing that the two of them were so focused, he quickly left. He even ordered that no one should disturb him. Truth be told, when he had met Danfeng before, she had always had an ice-cold appearance. Even toward him, her younger brother, it was the same. It had been a long time since he had seen her smile. Now that she was with Lin Xian, she actually smiled every day. It was really surprising. It seemed that this young Master Lin would very likely become his brother-in-law. Thinking of this, he sighed. This was because Jiang Chen and Dan Feng were known to all. Now that Lin Xian had arrived, it was likely that another storm would be stirred up. Lin Xian's place was quiet, but there were undercurrents surging outside. This was especially true for the ruins of the ancient heavenly court. They were extremely nervous. The eyes of the great sage turned red. They mobilized all their forces to study this array formation. There was even a great sage who personally came and stayed for a month or two without leaving. On this day, the array formation sent out a message inviting all the geniuses in the world. It seemed that the Purple Mansion was about to be fully opened. Countless people were in an uproar. Previously, the news of the Purple Mansion opening had already spread. However, at that time only Lin Xian and a few other top prodigies entered. The others were not qualified to enter. Now that all the geniuses in the world were invited, everyone was shocked. Countless people gathered again. They all set off for the Purple Mansion. On Pill Cauldron Sect's side, Jiang Qin received the news and quickly moved. He once again arrived outside Lin Xian's residence and spoke. Fire Phoenix walked out and said, Are you going to make a move again? Jiang Qin glanced at Lin Xian. He snorted coldly, I'll give you face and won't make a move on you for the time being. I'm here today because of an important matter. The Purple Mansion has been reactivated, and it's going to be opened in the next few days. Let's make a move too. It's opened again? Lin Xian was also surprised. He frowned. He now knew that the totem of the Purple Mansion was the red spider lily. Moreover, there was a mysterious expert who attacked it. It was very likely that he was from the Purple Mansion. Lin Xian was wondering if he should go and take a look. Then he sneered and went to see what the Purple Mansion was up to. Red Phoenix was also surprised. She had long heard of the Purple Mansion. She didn't have the chance last time, so she definitely wouldn't miss it this time. She looked at Lin Xian and smiled. Young Master Lin, let's go together. Lin Xian nodded and said, Okay. Jiang Chen was so angry that he almost vomited blood when he saw the two of them talking and laughing. Damn it, what's so good about this kid that he can stay by Red Phoenix's side? The Purple Mansion was incomparably mysterious. The scenery inside was magnificent, and the spiritual energy of heaven and earth gathered in one place. It was like a paradise on earth. At this moment, the Purple Mansion was extremely lively. Many people entered one after another. Of course, those who entered were all top geniuses and experts. The women in the Purple Mansion were like fairies, and the men were either like immortals, or they were like unparalleled emperors with supreme auras that made everyone look up to them. There weren't many people in the Purple Mansion, but every one of them was a top expert and expert. It was really shocking. It was no wonder that the Purple Mansion was above the clan of the ancients 70,000 years ago. This place truly made people linger on and forget to return. Yunfei arrived, bringing with him a natural and unrestrained manner, as if he was an immortal. A woman in a silver robe walked up. There was a crescent moon on her forehead, and she had a mysterious aura. She was called Yufian. She was one of the successors of the Purple Mansion Celestial Mountain. And this time she seemed to be the host. Yufian walked up and smiled. Young Master Yunfei, long time no see. Please come in. Yunfei also smiled. Yuxinzi was more beautiful than before, and her aura was also stronger than before. As expected of a successor of the Purple Mansion. He smiled and walked in. Not long after, another person came. He had a holy aura like an angel, He was Xing Tiansu. When he arrived, he was respectfully invited in. Not long after, the sky was filled with golden light, as if a sun had descended. Golden Crowhow also came with arrogance and arrogance. The people around felt their scalps go numb. The divine island in the sky descended, and a woman walked out of the wind. Next to her was a purple figure like the divine king. The arrival of the two made people look up to them. It was the princess of the Feng clan, Feng Huang. That person should be the successor of the Yi clan, the clan of the ancients. Yes, he was Yi Wudao, the legendary sacred body of the ancients. Yu Fian's lips curled into a smile. Long time no see. Young Master Yi, please come in. Yi Wudao nodded and walked forward. Chapter 46-49. The void split open and a figure appeared out of thin air. The surrounding people exclaimed in shock. That person was so fast. It was Guangming from the Light Clan. Guangming had arrived. He arrived with extreme speed and stared at Yi Wudao. It seemed like the fairies of the Purple Mansion were inferior to Yi Wudao. Yi Wudao's eyes also shone with a cold light. The Heavenly Emperor scripture was circulating in his body. Between them, the great Tao intertwined and the 9 heavens split open. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people were shocked. Was there going to be another battle between the two of them? Previously, the two of them had fought once, but they were evenly matched. Neither of them could do anything to the other. Yu Fian walked over with a smile. The two of them were top figures. If they wanted to fight, there would be plenty of chances later. For now, please go in. Her voice was very pleasant to the ears. It was like the voice of the 9 heavens. It seemed to be able to calm one's soul. The surrounding atmosphere became more relaxed. Yi Wudao retracted his gaze and said. Guangming also smiled. I naturally have to give face to the fairy. Next, evil spirit also arrived. There were also some disciples from the great sects and even the ancient families. It could be said that this was a grand event. The Purple Mansion had even sent out disciples to properly entertain these people. Even the disciples of the other immortal mountains besides Yu Fian also came out. Each and every one of them was a peerless figure. They were like the 9 heavens maidens that everyone looked up to. Those people were all stunned. Evil Spirit, Xing Tian's and the others took a deep breath and clenched their fists. Phoenix also turned her head, but she was stunned. She only saw the beautiful fairies, but she did not see the person who was like a supreme emperor. She was a bit disappointed. She did not know where that person went. Among the fairies, Qin Sienna was also there. At this moment, her aura and cultivation were much stronger than when she had just arrived at the buried Emperor Star. It was shocking that she could even reach Hu Yuan's level. One had to know that Qin Sienna had just joined the Purple Mansion not long ago. The Purple Mansion was incomparably mysterious. Of course, she was from the 9-Tailed Fox clan and had a very powerful bloodline. At this moment, the corner of her mouth rose. Her smile shocked heaven and earth. Jianghu Hao's eyes lit up as he walked over. How should I address this fairy? He could sense that the other party also had a very powerful bloodline in him. Qin Sienna. What a good name. Would Fairy Qin accompany me for a drink? Golden Crow Hao invited with a smile. In his opinion, the other party would definitely not refuse. This was because his strength and talent were both top-notch. Unfortunately, he guessed wrong this time. Sienna smiled and shook her head. Even if he rejected her, it didn't seem to make her angry. The surrounding people were stunned. They were shocked. This was the first time someone had dared to reject Jianghu Hao. Jianghu Hao was also taken aback. A piercingly cold light flashed in his eyes. After thinking for a moment, he said with a smile. It seems that Fairy Qin is still not familiar with me. Don't worry, I'll let you have time to understand me in the future. One day, I think Fairy will be willing to drink wine with me. It was clear from his tone that Jianghu Hao was unwilling to accept this. The surrounding people were also discussing animatedly. Qin Sienna continued to smile and didn't say anything. Her gaze casually scanned the surroundings. Clearly she was also searching for someone. When she didn't see that figure, she was a little disappointed. However, he secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Even if you work hard for 100 years, he won't agree. At that moment, a cold voice sounded. Countless people were in an uproar as they looked up at the sky. Jianghu Hao's expression also darkened. Who is it? Is he challenging me? With a cold shout, the surrounding sky collapsed and the earth cracked. At that moment, the void above cracked open, and flames that filled the sky turned into a divine furnace that descended from the sky. Everyone felt a scorching aura that seemed to be able to burn the 9 heavens. It seemed that the people from Pill Cauldron sect had arrived. Everyone was surprised. Could it be that Jiang Chen was challenging Jinwu Hao? Another two top-notch geniuses. It seemed that there would be a good show to watch. However, their expressions soon changed. That was because they realized that Jiang Chen wasn't alone. There were two extremely terrifying auras that were not weaker than Jiang Chen's. Some of them were even stronger. Another expert had arrived. Who was it? This time, even Yi Wudao, Feng Huang, Xingtian Tians and the others looked over. Jinwu Hao shouted coldly. Jiang Chen, are you challenging me? After Jiang Chen landed, he didn't say a word. His face was a little dark. At that moment, someone next to him spoke. It's not him, it's me. Are you unhappy? It's you? Jinwu Hao finally saw clearly that it was Lin Xian. His eyes instantly turned red. Despicable brat, how dare you come again? Jiang Chen had previously injured an elder of the Golden Crow tribe. He had even taken half of that elder's body and barbecued him. How could he tolerate that? He roared and wanted to attack. The Golden Crow flames that filled the sky quickly burned and condensed into a sun that charged over. It was so terrifying. It seemed that he was going to kill him as soon as he attacked. Had the hatred between the two sides reached such a level? Before Lin Xian could attack, Dan Feng waved her hand, and a fire phoenix flew out and swept through the sky. It blocked the sun. In the next moment she shouted coldly. Were all the Golden Crows so arrogant? It was a woman who had blocked Jinwu Hao's attack. Who was she? Countless people were in an uproar. At that moment, the eyes of Light Yun Fei and the other top-notch experts burst out with piercing cold light and froze in place. Jinwu Hao was even more shocked. He looked forward. Who are you? When did Pill Cauldron Gate have a top-notch genius? My name is Dan Feng. I heard that your Golden Crow flames are very powerful. I would like to experience it. A terrifying fire phoenix surrounded Dan Feng's body. The others were surprised. Xing Tiansu asked directly, Jiang Chen, is this a genius of Pill Cauldron Gate? Jiang Chen nodded. Yes, Dan Feng is also a member of Pill Cauldron Gate. As soon as he said that, countless people exclaimed. Some were extremely shocked. Two top-notch geniuses had appeared in Pill Cauldron Gate? It was unbelievable. Even some of the peerless sects felt immense pressure. Even the clan of the ancients were discussing animatedly. She is Dan Feng. Feng Huang whispered. Obviously, she had heard of this name before. The corners of Light's mouth curled up into a smile. It was getting more and more interesting. Jinwu Hao's eyes were also shining. It seemed that there were quite a few geniuses today. Dan Feng was also a peerless beauty. The corners of his mouth curled up. It was easy for a fairy to spar with fire. After this gathering, why don't you come back with me? We can have a good spar. Dan Feng's face darkened. You want to invite me? Do you have the right? She raised her hand and shot out another fire phoenix. Terrifying flames covered the sky and earth. Jinwu Hao wanted to deal with it calmly, but after 3 moves he was shocked. His opponent's strength was not inferior to his at all. If he was careless, he might even be at a disadvantage. How could he be in front of a woman? He had embarrassed himself in front of her. Chapter 4650. With a roar, he turned into a golden crow phantom and charged forward. Heaven and earth trembled. On the other side, the red phoenix formed a seal with both hands, forming a fire and wind seal that slammed forward. The two collided, and a deafening sound spread in all directions. Inside the Zifu, there was a mysterious formation that blocked all kinds of energy. Otherwise, some people would have been swept away by this energy and turned into a bloody mist. After the collision, the two retreated. The fire phoenix snorted. Do you still think you're qualified to invite me? Golden Crow Hao's face was pale, and his hands were turning black. It was burned by the other party's flames. Damn it, the other party's fire phoenix was too terrifying. He didn't attack again. Lin Xian sneered when he saw this. You have the right to be arrogant. Do you really think you can dominate the world? I'm afraid you can't beat anyone here. Damn it. You're courting death. Golden Crow Hao roared. He was about to go crazy. Lin Xian sneered. Are you sure you want to fight me? Do you believe that I can suppress you with one hand? His body emitted a biting cold killing intent. Golden Crow Hao gritted his teeth. Kid, you'll definitely die if you challenge the Golden Crow clan. After saying a few words, he walked back and didn't attack again. The surrounding people were stunned. Who was that person? Some people discussed. Someone said, I know him. He entered the purple mansion with Golden Crow Hao and the others. He's very terrifying. I heard that he's a rogue cultivator. The surrounding people were stunned. Why was that guy with the people from the Pill Cauldron sect? Even the evil spirit furrowed its brows at this sight. A few months ago he and Jiang Qin joined forces to fight against the other party. Now the other party was with Jiang Qin. What's going on? He asked Jiang Qin through voice transmission. Jiang Qin's face darkened and he didn't respond. Lin Xian didn't pay any attention to what was going on. After greeting Leaf Dao Denier, he walked over to Qin Xiener and said a few words. Qin Xiener smiled after hearing that. Was this guy so familiar with the fairies of the Purple Mansion? The surrounding people were even more shocked. Golden Crow How gritted his teeth when he saw this scene. He went up and was rejected. Yet the other party was still able to talk cheerfully. Was the gap between them really that big? He didn't believe it. At this moment Yu Fian came out to smooth things over. The atmosphere eased again. At the same time she said that everyone was here to reopen the Purple Mansion. She waved her hand gently, and the maids brought out exquisite dishes and spirit wine. Everyone started the banquet. Not long after someone said, "We're all martial saints, it's boring to just drink and chat. Why don't we spar?" Many people were surprised and some people's eyes flickered. At this time, experts from all over the world had gathered. Victory here could make one's name known throughout the world. This was a very good opportunity to gain fame. Yu Fian said with a smile. Our Violet Palace has just opened. Today is not a good day to fight. I have another idea. I wonder if everyone is willing. What? Yu Fian's Yun's Yu Fian? Fian Fifi Yu Fei and Yu Feizi Yu Yue. If you can break the formation, then my Purple Mansion sect will give you a martial art of the Ancient Saints. Ancient Saint martial arts. Many people were astonished. They knew that the Purple Mansion was all-encompassing. It could be said that it had collected countless martial arts techniques. Now the other party had actually proposed such a condition. What was so magical about that array formation? Some people couldn't wait any longer. Yushinzi, where is the array formation? Many people stood up. All of them wanted to obtain the ancient sage's martial arts. How could something from the Purple Mansion be weak? It might even be from tens of thousands of years ago. Lin Xian was also shocked. He didn't know what the Violet Palace was doing. Yu Fian said with a smile. It seems like everyone is very interested. Alright, everyone, please follow me. She stood up and led everyone out of the hall, flying into the distance. Everyone followed suit. There was a valley in front of them, and the spiritual chi inside was extraordinary. Yu Fian landed in the valley and everyone followed suit. They discovered that there was indeed the aura of a formation flickering in front of them, and there was already a figure waiting there. It was a man who was surrounded by gods and demons. He looked like a matchless emperor. Just looking at it would make one shudder involuntarily. Who was this person? Were they from the Z Mansion? It was actually so terrifying. Yunfei Guang and the others' eyes lit up. This person's strength was very strong. He was a peerless enemy. Feng Huang's body swayed and a trace of shock appeared in her eyes. It was him. She hadn't expected that the person she wanted to meet would be here. Yi Wudao frowned and Lin Xian's eyes flickered. Why was this guy here? Could it be that he had also joined the Z Mansion? He looked at Qin Xiener and asked in a low voice. Qin Xiener said, You know him? Yao Guang, I didn't say anything wrong, right? Qin Xiener nodded. That's right, he was Yao Guang, the successor of one of the 9 immortal mountains. He had joined the Z Mansion even earlier than me. The Yao Guang Holy Son was an incredible figure in the true spirit world. He was extremely mysterious. He was very strong, but no one knew what level he had reached. They only knew that he was at the peak. Later on, Lin Xian and the others had stepped into the ancient starry sky path. And this Yao Guang seemed to have remained in the true spirit world. When Lin Xian returned to the true spirit world from the ancient starry sky path, Yao Guang hadn't been at a disadvantage. He was still at the peak. Later on, Lin Xian and the others had come to the buried Emperor Star. Yao Guang had also come and joined the Z Mansion. It was truly shocking. Lin Xian looked at Yi Wudao. He saw that Yi Wudao was also frowning. Yao Guang's eyes flickered. He swept his gaze over everyone and naturally saw Lin Xian and Yi Wudao. He didn't seem surprised. It seemed that he had long since known of Lin Xian and Yi Wudao's existence. Yao Guang walked forward and smiled. Everyone, this is the formation our Z Mansion set up. I wonder if anyone can break it. Everyone was curious. Was this formation an offensive one? Or an illusion one? Someone asked. That's right. Why didn't you say what the formation was called? Yao Guang said that the formation was called the Nameless Formation. As for its effects and power, everyone will personally experience it after going up. Everyone was in an uproar when they heard that. This was no different from not saying anything. They became even more curious. Let me try it. Someone walked over. It was a large man with a powerful physique. He held a battle axe on his back and looked like a god of war. The entire mountain valley shook violently. He leapt forward, turning into a bolt of lightning as he charged into the formation. He grabbed the battle axe on his back. When the battle axe fell, it contained the power to split open the heavens. Boom. The formation flickered and countless dazzling Dao runes smashed into the battle axe. The battle axe split open, and the large man was sent flying. There was a bloody hole in his shoulder and his arms were completely crippled. Brr. He roared at the sky and rapidly retreated. Laws intertwined around his body, healing his wounds. At the same time he was alarmed. This attack had not only seriously injured him, but his Wuxia had also shattered. Everyone was shocked. How could it be so powerful? This large man was a mid-sage king and could be considered an expert. But he hadn't even been able to block a single attack. Chapter 46-51. Stupid thing, you can't break a formation with brute force. Don't you know that? A cold laugh rang out. The tower-like man roared. Who was it? His eyes were filled with terrifying killing intent. The figure behind him sneered. Facing the terrifying gaze, he wasn't afraid at all. Instead, he waved the token in his hand. The tower-like man's face turned ugly. He gritted his teeth and left. The one who spoke was someone from the ghost sect. They were a peerless sect that he didn't dare to provoke. Due to the loss of face he had suffered, he could only leave quickly. Of course, he didn't leave completely. Instead, he stood far away in a remote corner to watch. He wanted to see who could break such a terrifying formation. The others were also discussing. A few more people went up to try, but none of them succeeded. Regardless of whether it was using brute force, attacking, or using a formation to break the formation, they all failed. However, they lasted longer than the tower-like man. Could it be that no one succeeded? Many people were discussing. They now knew how terrifying the obscurity formation was. The people from the Purple Mansion were also nervous. Some of them were already sighing. From the looks of it, no one would be able to successfully break this array formation. That might not be the case. Light said coldly. You still haven't said what the ancient sage's martial art is. Otherwise, I don't think any of the top experts would make a move. That was indeed the case. Although there were more than 10 people going up to try, Light, Xing Tianmei, Yu Wudao, and the other top experts didn't make a move. They were all waiting. Yufian smiled. It seems that our Purple Mansion's bargaining chip isn't enough. Well, I'll let you know in advance. If you can break this formation, you'll get a divine ability. It's a martial art that was lost 30,000 years ago, the Great Desolate Heaven Hunter's Hand. It was created by the Great Sage, the sky-splitting Great Sage. Its power was boundless. When it was mastered, it could tear apart opponents of the same level. Later on, after Great Sage Hunting Heaven passed away, his martial arts disappeared. A crisp sound rang out. Many people sucked in a breath of cold air. The Great Desolate Heaven Hunter's Hand. It was actually a lost martial art. As expected of a Violet Palace disciple, he was actually able to take it out. How did he get it? Exclamations of surprise could be heard. Jiang Qin, Dan Feng, and the others' eyes lit up. Yun Fei, Wuxia, and the others' eyes gleamed as well. It seemed like the Purple Mansion sect was really sincere. Even they were tempted by this martial art. Since it's a lost ancient saint martial art, I'll gladly accept it. Jianghu Hao walked over with large strides. I've broken your nameless formation. He walked toward the formation like a fiery god of war. Everyone's gaze was focused on him. The Z government's people were also looking forward to it. It seemed that the lost technique they had taken out had already been effective. A top-notch expert had come to break the formation. He wondered if they would succeed. As soon as Jianghu Hao walked into the formation, he could feel a terrifying power. He roared angrily, and the flames on his body soared into the sky. His wings turned into heavenly blades, and at the same time, his palms swept out in all directions. It seemed that he also wanted to use his tyrannical strength to tear apart the formation. The formation sensed the terrifying aura, and a light appeared on it, repelling everything. At the same time, a terrifying power rushed towards Jianghu Hao. How Jianghu roared. The people who were watching from the outside were terrified. The formation was too powerful. Even Jianghu Hao was suppressed to a disadvantage. Lin Xian's eyes flickered and he frowned. Why does this formation look so familiar? He was a formation master, and when he looked at the formation, he naturally would not look at the surface. He would look at the core content. Therefore, he could naturally see the power of this formation. He seemed to have seen it somewhere before. However, he could not say it out loud. He felt that it was very strange. It seemed that the Z government was indeed mysterious. This formation was definitely set up by the Great Sage, and there might be more than one Great Sage. It was impossible to break it with brute force. The sound in front of him shook the heavens. The formation contained a destructive power, but in the end Jianghu still retreated. His hair was disheveled and he gritted his teeth. Damn it, what kind of formation is this? He slapped out again, but he was pushed back and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Damn it. He roared angrily and flew into the sky. He swore that he would break the formation, but in the end he did not succeed at all. It made him lose face. He was so angry that he wanted to destroy the entire valley. Jianghu's body emitted a terrifying light, and it formed into a sun, releasing an unparalleled power. Everyone in the valley was stunned. What did this guy want to do? Did he want to kill all of them? Run. Everyone retreated, and the Z government's people's faces changed. Jianghu was too much. Yao Guang walked out and shouted coldly. This is not a place where you can be so presumptuous. Die. Jianghu roared and the golden sun descended. This was his full-strength attack. Yao Guang snorted, waved his hands, and a strange seal shot towards the sky. With a crack, the whole world was torn in half. The sun was instantly torn apart and its power dissipated. Jianghu kept retreating and his face was pale. Damn it, his secret technique was instantly broken by the opponent? Yi Wudao's eyes shone brightly. Is this the great desolate heaven-splitting palm? Yao Guang nodded. The others were shocked. Is this the secret technique that was lost? It was too terrifying. One strike could tear everything apart. Do you still want to be arrogant? Yao Guang looked at Jianghu. The other Z government's people also looked at him. Jianghu's scalp went numb. Although he was a peak-level genius, this Yao Guang was not weaker than him, and this was the Z government's territory. There was definitely the great sage overseeing this place. So he snorted coldly and descended and did not attack again. However, he still wanted to regain his face. Your formation is too terrifying. No one in the Saint King realm can break it. Are you lying to us? Indeed, Jianghu's technique was flawless, and the others' chances of success were not high. Yufian walked over and smiled. Crown Prince, please calm down. This formation is indeed strange and there are very few people who can break it. Even we do not have much hope. However, we still want to try and see if there is really a heaven-defying formation master who can break it. Jianghu's expression eased a lot. Even the Z government only had a glimmer of hope, and it was not shameful for him to lose. The others were discussing. Jiang Chen looked at Dan Feng and asked, "What do you think?" Dan Feng shook his head. "Do you want to concoct pills? We can break this kind of formation. Ordinary formations are no problem, but for a top-level formation like this, we can't break it with brute force. We are helpless." Jiang Chen sighed. It seemed that they had no fate with the great desolate heaven-splitting palm. In addition, Feng Huang looked at Yi Wudao and asked, "Do you have any ideas?" He did not have much confidence. Although he had studied array formations before, this array formation was clearly too mysterious. Phoenix also sighed. Their Wind clan had collected array formations from ancient times until now. They had everything they needed. However, he was also at his wits' end. Chapter 4652. Guangming walked out. He wanted to use his extreme speed to break the array. Among all the supernatural powers in the world, only speed was invincible. Maybe he could really break it with his extreme speed. The people of the Purple Mansion were also looking forward to it. Guangming walked into the array and turned into an aurora. Even Yun Fei and the others couldn't see him clearly. Guangming was extremely fast. He dodged all the attacks, but he found that he still couldn't break the array. Even though the array couldn't hurt him, he couldn't break it completely. Damn it, what kind of array was this? Even his bloodline speed couldn't break it? Finally, he walked out, shaking his head and sighing. Everyone was in despair. Even Guangming was defeated. The others had no chance at all. It seemed that they couldn't get the great desolate heaven-splitting hand. That might not be the case. A voice rang out. Everyone turned their heads and looked over. Then they were shocked. It was Lin Xian. Was this kid trying to break the array? Yes, it was Lin Xian. He looked forward, took a deep breath and walked in. What was this kid doing? He couldn't break the array even with extreme speed? Who did he think he was? Jiang Chen snorted and said, "Young Master Lin is usually very steady. He won't do anything he isn't sure of. Besides, what right do you have to look down on him? You don't even dare to try." Dan Feng said coldly. Jiang Qin snorted. I want to see how he's going to break the array. The people of the Purple Mansion were also watching. Yao Guang narrowed his eyes. A mysterious smile appeared on Yu Fian's face. They all looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian knew that if he did this, the people of the Purple Mansion would notice him again. They might even discover his true identity. However, the Purple Mansion was so mysterious and powerful. They even sent experts to attack him last time. Even if he was hiding, he might be discovered. If that was the case, why should he hide? He might as well stand out and break the array. If he was lucky, he might even get the ancient saint's secret technique. After walking into the array, Lin Xian could feel the uniqueness of the array. He himself was an expert in array formations, and his strength was extremely powerful. Thus, at this moment he formed hand seals with his palms, and countless talismans flew out from his fingertips in all directions to break the seal. Lin Xian had learned the heaven-breaking formation before, so he could break most formations. However, that was not the case now. The heaven-crushing formation had lost its effect before the nameless formation. Lin Xian sensed the increasingly terrifying aura and rushed over. It was no wonder that Golden Crow and the others could not withstand it. Even Light was helpless. The power of the array formation was really too strong. He shouted coldly as he waved his hand. Countless great Daos intertwined with each other to form a mysterious ancient character. This was the result of his recent comprehension of the Heavenly Quartz Dao. At this moment he subconsciously used it. The Heavenly Quartz Dao permeated the surroundings. The array formation in front of them was quickly broken, and the surrounding attacks disappeared. Lin Xian was stunned. What's going on? Could the Heavenly Quartz Dao break the array formation? He was really too surprised. That shouldn't be the case. Even though the Heavenly Quartz Dao was incomparably mysterious, it definitely wasn't specialized in deciphering formations. What was going on? Could it be this array formation? Lin Xian had previously felt that this array formation was very familiar. Now that he carefully recalled it, he suddenly realized. In the ruins of the Heavenly Court, there was a peerless array formation that even the great sage could not break open. The power of that array formation was earth-shattering. This one was very similar. However, this one was a weakened version and its power was countless times weaker. He did not recognize it for a moment. Now that the power of the Heavenly Quartz Dao was displayed, he finally remembered that this was definitely similar to the array formation of the ancient Heavenly Court. Lin Xian used the Heavenly Quartz Dao and did not continue to break the array formation. He frowned. It seemed that this array formation was set up by the great sage after studying the Heavenly Quartz array formation. Then he invited the powerhouses of the world to break it to find inspiration to break the Heavenly Quartz array formation. If he could break it at this time, wouldn't he be helping the Purple Mansion? Thinking of this, he wanted to end it. However, on second thought, he was also extremely curious about the Heavenly Court. It was an unparalleled treasure trove. If he did not do it this time, it would be impossible for him to break it himself. Because the real Heavenly Quartz array formation was thousands of times stronger than this one. It had to be the great sage who did it. Lin Xian had an idea. It seemed that he had to show some of his strength. He had to let the clan of the Ancients and the Peerless Sects pay attention. Then he could use the power of the clan of the Ancients to break the array formation. In this way he would be able to obtain the items in the ancient Heavenly Court. It seemed that this was a very dangerous decision, but Lin Xian decided to take the risk. Wealth came from danger. He had to go all out. Lin Xian took a deep breath and condensed the Heavenly Quartz Dao again. The second ancient character appeared and he quickly scanned the surroundings. The surrounding people were all waiting and discussing spiritedly. They weren't optimistic about Lin Xian's chances because Light, the Golden Crow, and the others had all tried and were helpless. Perhaps only a true great sage would be able to do that. Lin Xian was strong, but there was still a gap between him and the real great sage. How could this kid succeed? Jiang Qin sneered. Golden Crow Hao also snorted. Even he couldn't succeed, let alone Lin Xian. But all of a sudden, his face froze and his eyes widened. Jiang Chen's pupils constricted. This was impossible. He felt like he was dreaming. Dan Feng said, "The array formation has been broken." With a cry of surprise, the others raised their heads to look. They were dumbfounded. The array formation in front of them quickly cracked open. The people of the Purple Mansion were shocked. Could it be? They were all stunned. The array formation cracked open and a figure walked out. "You broke it?" Yao Guang also exclaimed. Yu Fian walked up and observed carefully. She looked at Lin Xian in disbelief. "Young Master Lin, you really succeeded." "Not bad." Lin Xian nodded. "I was lucky to be able to decipher it." Lucky? Everyone had a strange expression. Damn it, how could this guy be so lucky? Jiang Chen gritted his teeth. Golden Crowhouse's face also darkened. The others were speechless. Was it really good luck? This was not something that could be explained by luck. Lin Xian ignored these people and looked at Yu Fian. He said, "Previously you said that whoever breaks this array formation will be able to obtain the ancient sage's lost art. I wonder if you can fulfill your promise." The successors of the Immortal Mountains discussed among themselves. Yu Fian stood her ground and said, "Of course. Young master, please wait a moment. I'll go get it now." As she spoke, her figure flickered and she flew into the distance. The others were incomparably envious. This guy really did it and was going to obtain the lost art, the great desolate heaven-splitting hand? Previously, Yao Guang had shocked Golden Crowhouse with one strike. One could imagine how terrifying this lost art was. After a while, Yu Fian returned. Chapter 46-53. It was an old man with a jade slip in his hand. He said, "You must be the young Master Lin who solved the array." As he spoke, he looked at the spirit formation. Wherever his gaze passed, a cold light appeared in his eyes. "You really solved it?" "That's right, I am." Lin Xian spoke again. The old man said, "Of course," and handed over the jade slip in his hand. What was recorded inside was the cultivation technique of the great desolate heaven-splitting hand. Lin Xian took it and found that it was very complicated. The great sage had recorded it with his soul. It was as vast as the sea. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. His heavenly secret godly eyes formed a light shadow and covered all the energy inside. In the next moment he waved his hand and shattered the jade slip. Everyone was shocked. Did he finish reading it? The Purple Mansion people were also surprised. The great desolate sky-splitting hand was so complicated that it couldn't be read in 2 or 3 years. Had this brat really finished reading it? Or did he just shatter it? Young Master Lin? The old man was also surprised. Lin Xian said, "I finished reading it. To prevent others from stealing it, I destroyed it. I don't think you want more people to see it." Yu Fian and Yao Guang also frowned. What kind of soul was this? Even they couldn't do it, but this guy did it so easily. The old man also exclaimed, "Good, as expected of a young genius who can solve arrays. This is really an eye-opener. Young Master Lin, your talent is really admirable. I'm very curious. Why don't you stay in the Purple Mansion for a few days? I have some things to ask you. Of course, in return, the Purple Mansion won't mistreat you. Maybe we'll ask you." Another ancient saint martial art. The surrounding people gasped. Some of the geniuses' eyes turned red. Living in the Purple Mansion was something that they had dreamed of. There were so many martial arts in the Purple Mansion. If they could get 1 or 2 of them, they would benefit immensely. But now this kid actually did it? How despicable. Jiang Chen, Jin Wuhao, and the others gritted their teeth. Lin Xian's heart was beating wildly. This old man wanted to trap him. He directly refused. "No, thank you for your kindness, but I still have things to do, so I won't be staying in the Z Mansion. Furthermore, 1 divine ability is already enough for me to cultivate. I don't want anything else." With that, Lin Xian turned to leave. "Young master, please wait." Yu Fian walked over and stopped Lin Xian. Lin Xian's expression darkened. "What? You want to stop me by force? We just want to have a chat with you." Yu Fian also emitted a terrifying aura. As the successor of the Immortal Mountain, not only was she extremely beautiful, her strength was also top-notch. Is that so? I also want to experience the strength of a Purple Mansion successor. Is he really as terrifying as the legends say? Lin Xian's eyes blossomed with a terrifying aura, and a powerful soul pressure emerged. Everyone felt their souls being suppressed, as if they would be torn apart at any moment. How could this guy's soul be so terrifying? Yu Fian's expression also changed. She snorted and was about to attack. At this moment, the old man behind her said, "Okay, stop." Yu Fian was shocked and then said, "Yes, elder." She stepped back and stood respectfully to the side. The old man walked up and said, "Young Master Lin, we treat you with respect. I hope you can consider it carefully. Don't refuse. Otherwise." He didn't speak but released an aura. The surrounding people became frightened. This was the aura of the great sage. This old man was actually the great sage. Lin Xian's pupils shrank. Damn it, he hid so deeply that he didn't sense it before. The great sage came because he was afraid that he would resist and escape? What, you want to attack me? Facing the great sage, Lin Xian was strong to the end. His eyes were extremely firm. The great sage laughed, "I don't want to either. But young master, please don't do it. It was over. Everyone shook their heads. The great sage made a move. Even if they didn't want to stay, they had to stay here. Lin Xian laughed. The purple mansion has a big appetite. Aren't you afraid that you can't take it all for yourself? What do you mean? The great sage frowned. The others were also confused. Lin Xian sneered. What, do you really think I don't know? He pointed to the broken array in front of him and said, your array should be based on the peerless array in the heavenly court. Don't you want to get the method to crack the heavenly court? Now that I've cracked it, you want to suppress me and take the heavenly court for yourself? As soon as these words came out, the surrounding people were stunned. No way there was such a thing? What a bunch of nonsense. The great sage's face darkened. The aura on his body was as deep as the sea, suppressing Lin Xian and forcing him to keep retreating. Lin Xian's face was pale. There was a strong sword intent on his body that seemed to be able to split everything. Golden light bloomed in his eyes. The eye of God fought against it. You're courting death. The great sage roared. Lin Xian retreated again. He had the illusion of the great sage on his body, but he was still injured. Blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. Lin Xian laughed. What, are you angry? Do you want to kill me? Lin Xian looked at Yi Wudao, Xing Tiansu, and the others. You're all top geniuses. Now think carefully. Isn't this array very similar to the peerless array in the ancient heavenly court? Those geniuses began to recall and found that there were indeed some similarities. But the power was many times weaker. So they didn't notice it for a while. If it weren't for Lin Xian's reminder, they would still be in the dark. What a bunch of nonsense. The Purple Mansion Great Sage really wanted to attack. At this time Yi Wudao said, why? I think so. Yes, that's right. Xing Tiansu also said. Guangming nodded. Even Jianghu Hao's face was cold. Although he wanted to kill Lin Xian, he knew that Lin Xian was right. Looking at the scene, Lin Xian laughed. What? Do you still think that the Z Mansion sect can cover up the truth? Do you still want to monopolize this matter? So what if they know? The great sage said coldly. If I want to suppress you, do you think they can resist? You can try to touch him. Danfeng walked out and said coldly, this is my guest. If you touch him, you'll be making an enemy of the Danding sect. Lin Xian is my friend. If you touch him, you'll be going against me. Yi Wudao also walked out. The Z Mansion sect was silent. The others were also shocked. Danfeng, a new genius, might not be important enough. But Leaf Dao Denier was different. Yi Wudao's reputation had long been known. He had the sacred body of the ancients. When he grew up, he would be able to control the Yi family. That was of the Arch family. No matter how strong the Z Mansion sect was, it had just reopened. It wasn't as grand as it was 70,000 years ago. So it was unwise to offend the two major forces now. If what young Master Lin said is true, then the Radiant Tribe will invite young Master Lin to be our guest. At this time Guangming said in a deep voice. Xing Tiansu nodded. That's right. The Sacred Heavens Tribe would also like to invite young Master Lin. Chapter 46-54. The others were shocked. The great sage's face darkened. He knew that today's matter could no longer be concealed, so he could no longer make a move. Otherwise, the Z Mansion would have to face all the other top forces. After all, it seemed that Lin Xian's ability to decipher the array formation was the only key to unlocking the Heavenly Court's array formation. It seemed that the Z Mansion had made a wise choice. Seeing them stop, Lin Xian sneered and said, "Thank you for your ancient saint's unique skill. I'll take it." Then he turned to leave. A stream of light flew over. Light said, "Mr. Lin, I want to invite you to the Light Clan." Xing Tiansu also walked over and invited him. Lin Xian smiled, "Don't worry, I won't leave. I'll rest at the Danding school. 5 days later you can come and invite me." After saying that, Lin Xian looked at Dan Feng. Dan Feng nodded, flew up and disappeared in the air. The others also left and returned to their families and sections. After all, they had to inform the elders of such a big thing. Damn kid. After Lin Xian and the others left, the Z Mansion people's faces darkened, and their eyes were filled with killing intent. The great sage sneered, "This kid is a bit interesting. He dares to go against the Z Mansion. Should we kill him?" Yao Guang asked. The great sage said, "He's still useful. After breaking the ancient heavenly court, he'll die." The news of the ancient heavenly court array and Lin Xian breaking the array spread throughout Taiching ancient city. The remote antiquity families and sects were shocked. The Z Mansion was really smart to think of such a way, and someone really could break the array. Where was Lin Xian? Quick, go and invite him over here. Countless eyes gathered on Lin Xian. The people of the Danding school were also shocked. Wasn't Lin Xian the person Hu Yuan brought back a few days ago? They didn't pay much attention to him before, but they didn't expect him to have such a method. Oh no, we might have neglected him before. Let's go and see. These elders joined forces and headed toward the mountain range. Dozens of elders came together, making Hu Yuan feel as if he was facing a great enemy. Elder Zhang, did I do anything wrong? He was about to cry. The elder's eyes lit up. It has nothing to do with you. Where is young Master Lin? Young Master Lin was inside researching pills with Dan Feng. Hearing this, the elders all flew in. We wish to see young Master Lin. When Lin Xian walked out, he was shocked as well. There were so many elders. Seniors, please come in. Now that he was in Pill Cauldron School, he naturally had to be courteous to these elders. Those elders walked in and looked at Lin Xian as if they were looking at a peerless treasure, which made Lin Xian's heart turn cold. Dan Feng also did not know whether to laugh or cry. All right, elders, don't worry. Young Master Lin will definitely help us. After sending these elders away, she said, let's go, I'll take you to see my master. Dan Feng's master was extremely extraordinary. He was a great sage. He was also a grand elder. When they arrived at the palace in the sky, Lin Xian felt a powerful flame aura. Master, I'm here. Dan Feng took the token and walked in. The surrounding flames kept flashing. Inside, an old man opened his eyes. Feng, you're back. Then he looked at Lin Xian and smiled. This should be young Master Lin, who has been in the limelight recently. Young geniuses are indeed extraordinary. Senior, you're too polite. Lin Xian did not dare to be careless facing the other party because this person's aura was too terrifying. He was even more terrifying than the great sage. Obviously, the other party was also an extremely powerful existence in the great sage realm. The great sage of alchemy fire asked Lin Xian about the array. Lin Xian said, there is indeed a way to break it, but he can't do it with his strength. When the time comes, he will join forces with a group of great sage. This matter was very important. The great sage of alchemy fire did not dare to be careless. Then he called a few more people. Two figures walked over. One was a mighty middle-aged man, the head of Alchemy Cauldron School. The other was equally terrifying, Alchemy Fire. The three great sage and Lin Xian discussed for a long time, then left. Previously, they had wanted to take Lin Xian alone to break the array, but the great sage of Alchemy Fire shook his head. The three great sage were indeed powerful. But Alchemy Cauldron School alone was not enough to take down the ancient heavenly court. If they tried to force their way in, they would be in danger of being wiped out. Therefore, it was better to join forces with the other ancient clans and peerless sections. Once the array was broken and they entered, it would be up to their own abilities. 5 days later, those people quickly arrived. The Light Clan was the first to arrive, but Lin Xian did not go to the Light Clan. Instead, he lost the Wind Clan. Because of Wind Phoenix and Leaf Dao Denier, Lin Xian had to give face to Leaf Dao Denier, even if he didn't want to. After arriving at the Wind Clan, Lin Xian sighed with emotion. The first time he came to the Wind Clan, he came with Leaf Dao Denier. At that time, it was also a grand occasion, but the main character was Leaf Dao Denier, so no one paid attention to him. In fact, they had even ignored him. But this time it was different. This time, everyone was paying attention to him, and the elders personally came to welcome him. They seemed to treat him as a supreme emperor and invited him in respectfully. Moon Breeze and the others looked at this scene as if they were in a dream. When they found out that Lin Xian was just an itinerant cultivator, they directly ignored him. Who would have thought that Lin Xian would return not long after? Moreover, he was like a supreme emperor who had arrived in a domineering manner. Not to mention the younger generation, even the elders personally came to welcome him. Even the great sage came out. What kind of glory was this? If they had been nicer to him back then and not so arrogant, perhaps a single word from him would have been able to raise their status in the clan. Thinking of this, they were filled with regret. Sir Lin, please. The two great sage brought the elders and personally invited Lin Xian in. Lin Xian and the two great sage chatted and laughed. During this time, Moon Breeze personally came over with spirit tea and stayed by Lin Xian's side. After learning about Lin Xian, she had specially dressed up today. Some of the Wind Clan's disciples were stunned, but Lin Xian directly ignored them and treated them as air. Recently he had been studying arrays and was a little tired. Lin Xian sighed. Moon Breeze saw this as an opportunity and immediately stood up and said with a smile, "Let me massage Sir's shoulders." Lin Xian turned back and said, "No need, let Wind Phoenix do it." Moon Breeze's hand stopped in midair, and her face became extremely ugly. Wind Phoenix's face darkened. Who was she? She was the top genius of the Wind Clan. Now they wanted her to massage his shoulders? What a joke. Her eyes could spit fire. However, the great sage of the Wind Clan laughed and said, "Phoenix, hurry up and massage Sir Lin's shoulders." Phoenix almost spat out a mouthful of blood. He really wanted her to massage him. She was extremely unwilling, but she knew that Lin Xian was not the same as before. Even the great sage had to ask him for help. Chapter 46-55. Princess Feng Huang, thank you. Lin Xian smiled. Seeing his smile, Feng Huang gritted her teeth and wanted to beat him to death. But she didn't dare to do it in the end. The surrounding disciples of the Feng clan were scared silly when they saw this scene. This was Feng Huang. No one in the younger generation could compare with her, but now she was treated as a maid by Lin Xian. It was truly unbelievable. Lin Xian nodded and praised while drinking the spiritual tea. Not bad, this technique was worthy of being a top genius. This time, even the two great sages' faces were a little dark. Why was this guy so annoying? They coughed. Lin Xian smiled and said, "Seniors, don't worry. We'll break the array together." Lin Xian left the Wind Clan in the midst of these powerhouses' send-off. Then he went to the Light Clan and the Holy Sky Clan and received supreme treatment. Then Lin Xian returned to the Pill Cauldron sect. After returning, Huiyuan walked up and said, "Mr. Lin, someone wants to see you." "Oh, who is it? Which clan of the ancients is it?" It was very normal for someone to want to see him these days. Huiyuan said, "No, he said he's your old friend." "What does he look like?" "He's wearing a black robe and his face can't be seen clearly." "It's him." Lin Xian said, "Ask him to come over." Not long after, a black-robed man walked over. Lin Xian set up an array and isolated everything. Then he said, "Hey Shan, why are you here? There are legends about you outside. How can I not come?" "You're talking about the array." Lin Xian shrugged. Hey Shan said, "I think you're getting more and more arrogant. Do you know what kind of place the ancient heavenly court is? Now you want to join forces with so many clans of the ancients. If you succeed, will those people let you go? I'm afraid you'll be the first to be killed." "I know." Lin Xian nodded. "But what do I have to do? Because I need more power. I found it. The mastermind behind the Red Spider Lily is the Z Mansion. That was an existence that surpassed the clans of the ancients. Once they find out who I am, they'll definitely hunt me down and kill me. With my current strength, I can't resist it. Therefore, I have to enter the ancient heavenly court now and see if there are any great fortunes." He Shan sighed after hearing that. He sighed. Initially, he did not want to drag you into this, but it seems like you are already in the game. Since that's the case, we can only join forces. With your current strength, you won't be able to break through the ancient heavenly court's formation even with their help. However, with me you should be able to. You can break the array in the ruins. Lin Xian was shocked. Black Mountain said, "Actually, I had the same idea as you. I wanted to borrow the power of the remote antiquity families, but you did it before me." This was good too. Since the Purple Palace had appeared, it was time to restart the heavenly court. Lin Xian was puzzled. He stared at Black Mountain and asked, "What's your relationship with the heavenly court?" Black Mountain smiled mysteriously. "You will know when the time comes." The two began to plan in secret. For this, Lin Xian was fully prepared. He set up many arrays and even made a clone. He dripped some golden saint blood on the clone. The clone was so lifelike as if it were real. Except for Lin Xian, no one could tell it was real. Next, the people of the Golden Crow race also came to invite Lin Xian. Lin Xian refused directly. "Get out. I won't accept your invitation." The Golden Crow tribe went crazy. "Kid, do you want to die?" A strong cultivator stood between the sky and the earth. His powerful aura pressed down. The sky was full of flames that could burn the 9 heavens. It seemed that he wanted to suppress Lin Xian by force. The overwhelming Golden Crow phantoms turned into a golden heavenly steel and covered Lin Xian. The Golden Crow tribe sneered. "This should be enough." Boom. The Pill Cauldron School's people were shocked. Many people even began to call for Elder Zhang. At this moment, an earth-shattering sound was heard. The 16 Golden Crow steels were broken and Lin Xian walked out. He was a demon god. The great spear of destruction flew out with endless demonic energy. The next moment, the Golden Crow tribe's cultivator was pierced, and his blood dyed the 9 heavens red. Damn it. The other golden crows rushed up and wanted to attack. At this moment, the elders of Pill Cauldron School also walked out. How dare you? Who gave you the courage to be so presumptuous in our school? Do you want to protect this kid? The Golden Crow tribe was murderous. The elders of Pill Cauldron School snorted. Young Master Lin is our distinguished guest. If you touch him, you will be going against our school. Believe it or not, none of you will be able to leave today. Damn it. The Golden Crow tribe was mad. They stared at Lin Xian and shouted coldly, Kid, do you think you can be arrogant for the rest of your life with the support of Pill Cauldron School? Don't come out if you dare. Lin Xian laughed. You dare to threaten me? Even if I leave Pill Cauldron School, do you dare to attack me? Only I can break the array of the Heavenly Court. Feng Clan, Light Clan, Holy Clan, which one of them doesn't want to protect me? Only your Golden Crow tribe doesn't know what's good for you. Offending me is offending these ancient families and sections. Do you think your Golden Crow tribe can fight against them? This kid has a special identity now. I'll hold it in for now. In the sky, the Golden Crow tribe wanted to leave. They swore that they would kill Lin Xian after the matter of the ancient heavenly court was over. Just you wait. The Golden Crow tribe soared into the sky and wanted to leave. Lin Xian snorted. You want to leave now? Did I let you leave? Do you want to kill us? The Golden Crow tribe turned around and shouted coldly. Lin Xian said, Yes, you're right. Today I'll send you to hell. Don't worry, even if all of you die, the Golden Crow tribe won't dare to attack me now. Let's see who dares to attack me. The Golden Crow tribe strong man shouted angrily. The elders of the Danding School were also shocked. They wanted to persuade Lin Xian to just chase them away. There was no need to attack them. So, the golden light in Lin Xian's eyes bloomed. One after another, demonic beasts flew out and covered the sky. There was even a three-eyed vermilion bird that swept across the land. The vermilion bird divine fire was really terrifying. The three-eyed vermilion bird was given to him by Xiao Mu as his guardian beast. Together with the ice fire swan, dark water mystical snake and other demonic beasts, it was really terrifying. In the sky there was a shocking battle. A pair of golden eyes swept across the land like the eyes of a god. He was controlling those demonic beasts. The Danding School's people were stunned. What kind of method was that? Controlling demonic beasts? Could it be that Lin Xian was a powerful beast tamer? Thinking of this, they were shocked. The Golden Crow tribe's people were very powerful. There were 3 late-stage sacred kings and 5 middle-stage sacred kings. But so what? The three-eyed vermilion bird was at the peak of the sacred king realm. At this moment, his powerful attack was enough to destroy everything. In the sky, the Golden Crow tribe's people were all turned into barbecued meat and fell. Xian put them away. As for those storage rings, he also put them away. Back. Chapter 46-56. Lin Xian landed on the ground and heaved a sigh of relief. Although he had used up a lot of his soul spirit, it was still an earth-shattering experience. This was a soul spirit recovery elixir. Behind him, Dan Feng walked out and took out a bunch of elixirs. Lin Xian swallowed the elixir and quickly recovered his soul spirit. Then Lin Xian did not go out again. He went into seclusion and started to wait. The other remote antiquity families and great sects had joined forces. Finally, they decided to attack together. Someone came to invite Lin Xian over. Lin Xian nodded and set off with the people of Pill Cauldron sect. When they arrived at the Heavenly Court ruins again, the place had changed drastically. The killing intent was even more terrifying than before. The desolate aura and broken walls could easily pierce through a sage. Countless people had come, and there were even quite a few great sages. Young Master Lin, you're here. The people of Light Race went up to welcome him. The people of Holy Heaven's Race smiled and said, Young Master Lin, please. The people of Wind Race and Serene Cloud sect also came and invited Lin Xian in respectfully. When the people around saw this, they were in an uproar. For a young man to receive such treatment, there was probably no other person other than Lin Xian. Lin Xian nodded and followed the crowd. There were a few great sage in front of him. They smiled and said, Young Master Lin, you're here. After greeting the seniors, Lin Xian cupped his fists and smiled. He then said, This time I'm not the only one who's here. I've brought an expert with me. He can be considered as half my master. My array formation was taught by him. This time he will definitely be able to break the Heavenly Court's array formation. When he said this, the great sage's eyes lit up. Really? Which expert is it? Beside Lin Xian, a black-robed man walked out. It's me. Countless gazes fell on He Shan, trying to see through him. He Shan stood there with his hands behind his back. No matter how they probed, he did not move. The great sage furrowed their brows as well. They couldn't see clearly. There seemed to be a layer of mist around the other party's body that blocked all probing. "How should I address you?" someone asked. "I am Black Mountain. Taoist Black Mountain. Young Master Lin, can we start now?" The great sage of the wind race smiled. Lin Xian glanced at He Shan and smiled. "You can begin now. I will first set up a formation with him. Everyone take the corresponding positions in the formation. You can continue to attack with your strength god art." Next, everyone waited while Lin Xian and He Shan began to set up the array. The 8 great sage fought in the 8 directions of the array formation. The other sages followed suit and stood in their respective positions. A terrifying formation was formed, incomparably vast. Of course, the key was still Lin Xian and the Black Mountain. The Black Mountain had his own special method, and Lin Xian could use the 2 ancient Tao of the heavenly courts to crack it. As for the power of the great sage, it was also indispensable. Otherwise, it would be impossible to break through. Begin. As Lin Xian gave the order, an earth-shattering sound was heard, and a monstrous aura spread out in all directions. The others all retreated to the outside of the ruins and waited. The ruins in front of them changed rapidly, and a terrifying murderous aura swept through the 9 heavens. Only the people inside the array formation could resist it. Otherwise, they would definitely die if they entered without permission. One had to admit that this peerless array formation was really too powerful. Even with such a lineup, with so many ancient families and peerless sects attacking together, it was still impossible to break through. It took half a month for it to open. In the past half a month, Lin Xian had taken countless pills and absorbed countless divine crystals. His strength had been exhausted many times. Fortunately, these ancient families and peerless sects had really taken out a lot of resources this time so that he could recover instantly. In the process of breaking the array formation, his use and understanding of the heavenly courts Tao had deepened. His strength had also improved. Finally, one day a voice was heard, and the entire array formation slowly opened. "That's great!" Countless people exclaimed and looked into the distance. The great sage in front of them let out a loud roar. After half a month of hard work, they finally saw the results. The gate of the heavenly courts had opened. What was inside? Everyone looked carefully and saw a passage in front of them, and below the passage was a spatial gate. Indeed, there was another space. They had guessed that this was just the surface of the ruins, and the core should be an independent space. Of course, this was just their guess. Now that they saw the spatial gate, all of their guesses were confirmed. As it opened, Lin Xian's eyes were shining as if he wanted to see through it. At this moment, the people of the Purple Mansion stood up and said, "Young Master Lin, be careful. This is left behind by the heavenly courts and there might be other dangers. Young Master, stay back." They joined forces and blocked Lin Xian's path. It seemed that they were protecting Lin Xian, but in fact they were blocking Lin Xian's path. The others also began to move. There were a few great sages in front of them who were still standing there like gods and devils. The great sage of the Pill Cauldron sect said telepathically, "Young Master Lin, don't worry. Let's go in and take a look." Lin Xian nodded and didn't say anything. Black Mountain stood there and didn't seem to have any objections. Lin Xian was surprised. He knew Black Mountain well. He wouldn't be at a disadvantage. Under normal circumstances, if the great sage wanted to force their way in and rob the treasures, Black Mountain would have turned hostile. But now he didn't. This meant that things weren't that simple. Perhaps there was something she didn't know. The great sage of the clan of the ancients in front of them joined forces and walked in. In the next moment they entered the spatial gate. The spatial gate shone brightly, and the great sage's figure was completely covered. Then it disappeared. What's going on? The surrounding people were shocked. The spatial gate had disappeared. How did they get in? Could it be that only the great sage could enter the space of the heavenly courts? Everyone panicked. Lin Xian was also surprised. At this time, another spatial gate appeared in front of them. Only then did everyone heave a sigh of relief. It looked very mysterious. They didn't know what it was, but as long as there was a spatial gate, they could enter that mysterious space. Then the eyes of the others flashed. They were ready to move. Lin Xian's figure flashed. He wanted to go in as well. At this moment, the people of the Purple Mansion stopped him again. "What's the meaning of this?" The people of the Purple Mansion said, "Young Master, let us scout the way for you." They waved their hands and the people waiting in the distance flew over. This time, not only were there older experts but there were also young geniuses. For example, Light Yi Wudao, Feng Huang, Dan Feng and the others were here. When Dan Feng saw this, his face darkened. Damn it. Were these people trying to go back on their words? Black Mountain said, "Kid, don't move. Let them go in first." The first two gates were spatial transmissions. They had already sent them to another world. Chapter 46-57. Hearing this, Lin Xian was shocked. Was this the Black Mountain's method? The great sage in front of him were transported away and left this world. This way there would be less threats in the following fight. Thinking of this, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He already saw that the Z Mansion and the others were already gathering another group of masters. These were all peak Saint King existences. They were all top masters of the older generation. These people became the second group. They entered the second space door and then disappeared. The rest also moved quickly. The third space door opened and these people all went in one after another. There were a few peak Saint Kings among them. Most of them were late-stage Saint King elders, and there were mid-stage and early-stage Saint King geniuses. These people all moved. The people from the Purple Mansion also left, but the people from the Golden Crow clan came over and stared at Lin Xian again. "Kid, it's impossible for you to go in. Your mission has been completed so you can go to hell." Hearing this, everyone was in an uproar. Those who were still outside were shocked. They didn't expect that the Golden Crow tribe people would want to kill him. Lin Xian's face darkened. "What, you want to fight?" In his eyes there was a cold light. "Kid, you were very arrogant before. Do you really think no one dares to touch you? Before I only asked you to break the array. Now that the Heavenly Court's array has been broken, you have no value to live. Let's see who will protect you." Another Golden Crow powerhouse also walked up and said coldly, "You dared to kill the masters of the Golden Crow tribe. Today is the day you die." Everyone's scalp tingled. They didn't expect the Golden Crow tribe to really attack. At this time, Golden Crow How also walked out and said, "Everyone, don't talk nonsense with him. Just grab him. I'll go in and find the treasure first. After I find the treasure, I'll torture him. I want him to know the consequences of offending the Golden Crow tribe." Then Golden Crow How laughed and turned around to leave. The Golden Crow tribe people all walked over and sneered, "Kid, tell us, how do you want to die?" Lin Xian snorted. "You Golden Crow tribe people are really looking for death. I wanted to let you live a little longer, but now, since you're going to die. Since you're here, I won't stand on ceremony." At this moment another person walked up. They were from the Tranquil Cloud sect. "I can feel the blood of the Tranquil Cloud sect's disciples on your body. You must have killed my Tranquil Cloud sect's disciples before. Today you won't be able to escape death." Similarly, a few experts from the Purple Mansion walked over. "Previously you dared to challenge me, the Great Sage. Today is the day you die." The surrounding people went crazy. They had never thought that there would be three top forces that would make a move against Lin Xian. Among them there were quite a few peak stage Saint Kings. This was practically a scene of certain death. In the face of such a terrifying attack, Lin Xian coldly snorted. "Was everyone here? If you want to fight, then come. I'll take you on." After he finished speaking, he let out a furious roar. The divine flame on his body exploded and swept across the 9 heavens. A terrifying aura enveloped the area. At this time he released the doppelganger that he had refined earlier. At this time he used the void escape technique to hide. Together with Black Mountain, they quietly entered the space door in front of them. "You want to resist?" The experts from the Golden Crow tribe, the Tranquil Cloud sect, and the Purple Mansion roared and quickly moved. Their divine abilities covered the sky, completely covering the area. The doppelganger was instantly torn apart. Golden Saint blood fell from the sky. It really couldn't withstand a single blow. "I didn't even use my strength and it's already dead?" The evil spirit sneered. The eyes of the Purple Mansion's people flashed. The Golden Crow tribe coldly snorted. "This is the result of daring to go against us. Let's go." With a wave of his hand they quickly entered. The people outside were stunned. Lin Xian was dead? It was too unbelievable. Such a terrifying array formation genius had fallen just like that? What a pity. Someone coldly sneered. He was too arrogant. He was a lone cultivator with no background. Yet he had provoked so many ancient families and peerless sections. If he didn't die, it would be heaven-defying. Everyone thought that Lin Xian had fallen. However, they did not know that. The one that had fallen was only a doppelganger. Lin Xian had secretly entered long ago. After entering, Lin Xian realized that it was indeed an independent space. The aura and laws here were familiar to him. This was the Tao of the Heavenly Court. Lin Xian's eyes flashed. The Black Mountain had already disappeared. It was obvious that the spatial door could teleport people randomly. Thinking of this, his figure flashed and changed his aura. Endless demonic energy formed a battle armor and transformed into a demonic godlike figure. It seemed that the other ancient families and peerless sects had all separated. Since that was the case, they could not blame him for being impolite. The Golden Crow tribe, the Purple Mansion, and the Tranquil Cloud sect, he would not let any of them go. Thinking of this, his figure flashed and flew forward. He flew past countless forests. Suddenly, a palace appeared in the forest. The palace was different from the one outside. It was no longer in ruins. Instead, it was flowing with divine radiance. It was unusually mysterious. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian was surprised. He descended. Not long after he landed, more people descended. 4 of them were Golden Crows and 1 of them was from the Tranquil Cloud sect. Seeing this, Lin Xian suddenly turned his head and stared at those people. He snorted and said, "Get over here and accept your death." The experts of the Golden Crow tribe and the Tranquil Cloud sect were stunned. They stared ahead. It seemed that the person's aura was very young. He was only an early-stage Saint King. What a reckless fool. Just based on you dare to contend against us? Looking at the other party's appearance, he was alone and his cultivation was so weak. He should be from an ordinary sect. Daring to fight against them was simply courting death. "Kid, this temple is ours now. You get lost." They stared at the palace in front of them. Their eyes shone brightly. Lin Xian said, "You are not qualified. I will make you Golden Crow tribe and Tranquil Cloud sect people despair." After that, demonic energy erupted from his body. He was like a peerless demon god. A black spear appeared in his hand and he attacked. Courting death. Let's kill him together. Don't waste time. These people attacked together. 5 middle-stage Saint King experts were prepared to kill the figure in front of them. After all, this palace did not look like an ordinary palace. They had to enter in advance. If they attracted other experts, it would be troublesome. Lin Xian's gaze swept across and stared at the expert from the Tranquil Cloud sect. The Great Destruction Spear flew out. Courting death. The expert from the Tranquil Cloud sect shouted coldly. His black palm was like a cloud that floated over. It enveloped the front, wanting to grab the black spear. With a clang, a sonorous sound rang out. But in the next moment, a roar sounded out. The black palm was instantly pierced through. The Great Destruction Spear carried the power to destroy everything. Not only did it pierce through the opponent's palm, it also tore his body apart. "I said, I will make you despair." As he spoke, he waved his arm. The Great Destruction Spear pierced through the opponent's soul and nailed him to the void. Chapter 46-58. Was he dead? The other Golden Crow clan members were stunned. They did not expect that the other party could kill such an expert with one strike. Damn it, were the people of the Serene Cloud sect trash? The 4 of us joined hands. They belonged to the same ancient race, and their bloodline was incomparably powerful. Under their joint efforts, the Golden Crow fire was like 4 suns, constantly rotating. Lin Xian sneered. Were the Golden Crow clan members very strong? Today I will refine you. The Great Destruction Spear attacked again. Black demonic chi pierced through the 9 heavens, enveloping the entire world. The 4 suns were also covered by demonic chi. The Golden Crow clan members felt the pressure. Not good. Why was this person so strong? This was a top prodigy, able to fight above his level. Attack with all your strength. The 4 of them roared. The leader was an old man. A golden long saber flew out from between his eyebrows, descending from the sky. Another person attacked with a golden pagoda. The other 2 formed a terrifying domain, enveloping heaven and earth. The 4 people's ultimate techniques and abilities were all used, but it was useless. Lin Xian held the Great Destruction Spear in his hand, sweeping across the area, killing intent soaring to the sky. The golden long saber was split in half, and the terrifying pagoda was shattered by a punch. The black spear turned into lightning, piercing through the 2 golden crows. Then a terrifying light exploded. It tore the 2 golden crows into pieces. The remaining 2 were stunned. They turned and fled. What a joke, the other party was too strong. Even if they joined hands, they would not be able to defeat him. Now you want to escape? Didn't you want to kill me? Didn't you think I was useless? Lin Xian's figure flashed, tearing apart the void, blocking the other party's path. Damn it, who the hell are you? The 2 Golden Crow clan experts roared. Lin Xian recovered his true appearance and said, "Who do you think I am?" "What? It's you?" The two Golden Crow clan experts were scared out of their wits. "Weren't you already dead?" Previously, the three great sects attacked together, and the top forces killed the other party. It was impossible for the other party to still be alive. What was going on? Lin Xian sneered. "Can't figure it out? Then go to hell to figure it out." The black spear attacked again. Two roars sounded. Then two bodies landed on the ground. Lin Xian waved his hand and collected the 5 storage rings. As for the rest of the people, they were all beaten into a bloody mist. After doing all that, Lin Xian sneered and walked into the divine palace before him. In the vast mountains outside, a few figures stopped. A young man and an old man. The old man frowned. "I can sense the aura of our Golden Crow clan in the vicinity. It seems that they have fallen." That young man's expression also changed greatly. "Who dares to touch us?" "The people of the Golden Crow clan? 7th Grandpa, let's go and take a look." The two of them quickly rose into the air and flew off into the distance. Finally, they saw a divine palace in front of them that was emitting divine light. There was blood in front of the temple. What a terrifying aura. "Damn it, it's the aura of our Golden Crow clan, and there's more than one of them." "Damn it," the old man roared. Golden Wule also said, "7th Grandpa, it must be our people who fought with the other party for the temple. Our people have fallen. The enemy must be inside. Let's go in." The old man directly charged in. Golden Wule followed behind. He was facing a great enemy. To be able to kill so many of their family's powerhouses, the other party must have a lot of people. There might even be more than 10 of them. He was worried. However, when he entered, he was stunned. There was only one figure in front of him, standing there with his back facing him. "Who are you?" Golden Wule asked coldly. "Are you the one who killed the people of the Golden Crow clan?" Lin Xian stood in front and ignored him. At this moment, his gaze fell on the front. There was a table in front of him. There were many things on it that seemed to be used for sacrifices. However, the rest had been turned into nothingness and were shattered. Only one of them was still intact. It was a spirit fruit. It was definitely not an ordinary item that could preserve its power for so many years. Golden Wule was furious when he saw that the other party ignored him. "Kid, are you deaf? I'm asking you a question." 7th Grandpa waved his hand and said, "Shut up." He walked to the other side and went around Lin Xian. Finally, he saw the scene in front of him. When he saw the spirit fruit on the table in front of him, he cried out in surprise. It was a peach of immortality. "What? Is there a treasure?" Golden Wule also flew over. When he saw the spirit fruit, his eyes also turned red. It might have been left behind tens of thousands of years ago. It might be an elixir of immortality. If he ate one, he might be able to immediately become an immortal. At the very least, it could increase his strength and allow him to break through. Thinking of this, he impatiently stretched out his golden claws and clawed forward. In midair, a black palm blocked him and grabbed his sharp claws. Lin Xian turned his head and said coldly, "You want to snatch something from me? You don't know your limits." Lin Xian exerted force in his palm. A terrifying demonic aura turned into a millstone of death and broke the other party's claws. Golden Wule screamed and retreated. "Damn it! 7th Grandpa, help me kill him." "Diane." The 7th elder shouted angrily and quickly rushed forward. He was a late-stage sage king and was very powerful. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Then he waved his hand and a black water mystical snake flew over, releasing a terrifying aura. Lin Xian looked at Golden Wule and laughed coldly. "You think you can do anything to me just because you have Elder Zhang? Today I'll kill you in front of your elders. Let's see what you can do to me." As he spoke, he slapped his palm over. Golden Wule screamed and his body was torn into pieces. The 7th elder shouted angrily. "Damn it! Why are you going against us? Do you want to be enemies with the Golden Wule tribe?" Lin Xian laughed loudly. The demonic aura on his body dissipated and his true face was revealed. "If I don't attack you, will you let me go? Didn't you want to kill me?" When they saw Lin Xian's face, the two of them were shocked. "Damn it! You're still alive. Run!" The 7th elder roared and told Golden Wule to run while he charged towards Lin Xian. The black water mystical snake turned into lightning and blocked the Golden Wule elder. The black water mystical snake carried the power of the Black Sea and fought against the flames. Lin Xian looked at Golden Wule. "Do you think you can escape?" He dashed forward with extreme speed and grabbed the other party's head. The other party was frozen in place and couldn't use his strength at all. Lin Xian pulled back his hand and the other party's limbs were broken and turned into a bloody mist. Golden Wule roared crazily. The pain made him hover between life and death. Lin Xian said, "How far have we gone? I'll let you feel my soul attack." He turned into a soul world and let the other party's soul enter to suffer for 100 generations. In the blink of an eye, thousands of years had passed. Golden Wule's soul was tortured for countless years and died in despair. Chapter 46-59. Lin Xian turned to the elder and sneered, "It's your turn now." "Damn it, you killed him." The seventh elder roared. That was one of his grandsons and Qin Haodong killed him in front of him. And now Qin Haodong wanted to kill him. He roared to the sky and forced the Blackwater mystical snake to retreat. "You have a demonic beast that can fight against me, but it's impossible for you to kill me. I'll go back now and use the power of my family to tear you to pieces." Qin Haodong was too terrifying. Qin Haodong didn't die even after facing such a terrifying attack. He had to tell his family to send more powerhouses to kill him. Lin Xian sneered. "Do you think I'll let you go? Also, who told you that I only have one demonic beast?" Golden light bloomed in his eyes and a pair of golden eyes formed above his head. Then a figure flew out. The Ice-Fire Swan released the terrifying power of ice and fire and attacked. The seventh elder's face turned ugly. He was also a late-stage Saint King. If the two demonic beasts wanted to kill him, he would definitely die. It looked like he was going to fight with his life. With a roar, he took out a pagoda. He charged toward the Peach of Immortality. It looked like he didn't want to give up on the treasure in the process of escaping. The Peach of Immortality was enveloped by the pagoda and rose into the air. Lin Xian sneered. "You don't know what's good for you. You're about to die but you still want to fight for the treasure. How stupid." Suddenly he was stunned. What's going on? Even the seventh elder was stunned. He couldn't believe the scene in front of him. The change in front of him was very shocking. The Peach of Immortality left the table and flew toward the pagoda. But it turned into ashes in the air and scattered on the ground. What's going on? The seventh elder of the Golden Crow tribe was stunned. He stared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian was also stunned. The golden light in his eyes bloomed as he looked at the table. He smiled. "I see. Looks like I've been fooled." With a wave of his hand, Lin Xian grabbed the white jade plate containing the immortal peaches and pulled it over. The plate was engraved with endless great Tao. It was very mysterious. There was even a palm at the bottom of the plate. Lin Xian was shocked. She was indeed a treasure. It was no wonder that the other spiritual herbs had already been destroyed, and only the Peach of Immortality was still intact. It was because of this plate. As soon as the peach left the plate, it instantly turned into ashes. The Golden Crow elder also noticed this and roared, "Kid, give it to me." Lin Xian sneered. "You're about to die yet you still want treasures? Go to hell." He waved his hand and activated his eye technique. The Blackwater mystical snake and the Frostfire Swan flew over. The Golden Crow elder roared angrily. The pagoda descended to resist the attack. Boom, boom. His aura was shaken and he spat out a mouthful of blood. He knew that he was no match for him, so he turned around and fled. "Where are you going?" Lin Xian rushed up and struck out with the Great Destruction Spear. It was like a sharp sword that slashed down, courting death. The Golden Crow elder kicked out and collided with the Spear of Great Destruction in the air. Lin Xian's arm was numb from the shock. The Golden Crow elder was also shocked. Damn it, was this brat already able to contend with him? This was too heaven-defying. Lin Xian sneered. He activated his eye technique and continuously attacked the Golden Crow elder's soul. The Golden Crow elder was disdainful at first, but Lin Xian's soul power was too strong, especially after he had recently comprehended the 14th Heavenly Secrets Tao diagram. The power of reincarnation was unleashed by him, turning into a ray of reincarnation light. The Golden Crow elder's head cracked open, and his soul was injured. He roared and used the pagoda to protect his soul. Boom. The Frostfire Swan shot out a sky full of ice, freezing him. The Blackwater mystical snake turned into a sharp sword and pierced his body. Under the attacks of the two beasts, the Golden Crow elder fell in the end. The old man turned into his true form and fell down, turning into a small golden mountain. Lin Xian took the old man's storage ring and kept the mountain-like corpse. He then searched the temple again. There was nothing else. It seemed that this was a place of worship. Lin Xian was not in a hurry to go out. Instead, he carefully looked at the white jade plate he had obtained. After studying it, he found that the most important thing was that the palm formed by the great Tao seemed to be able to hold up everything. This should be a terrifying divine ability. Lin Xian raised his palm and derived the great Tao on it. He had comprehended the heavenly court's Tao before, forming two ancient characters. Therefore, his cultivation speed was extremely fast at this moment. In addition, the great dragon sword soul had the ability to evolve everything. Therefore, it did not take long for him to evolve it. He felt that his palm had become extraordinary. What kind of power was this? Lin Xian was surprised. He felt that this palm did not seem to be able to attack, but it had a special divine ability. He took out the golden crow elder's body from before and held it in his palm. Suddenly, a wave of power surged into the golden crow elder's body. There was a change. That enormous body actually turned into a drop of blood essence that floated above his palm. The pure power on it surprised Lin Xian. It seemed that the impurities had been removed. It was too magical. It must be related to the sacrifices of the heavenly court. Lin Xian was overjoyed as he put away the blood essence. At the same time, he was about to hand the plate to Little White. After Little White came out and saw the white jade plate, she was also delighted. She waved her claws and directly pulled the great Tao over. The white jade plate shattered. The palm that was propped up landed on top of the treasure bowl, making it seem even more mysterious. Lin Xian was surprised. What was this? Little White babbled. The hand of creation. Lin Xian looked forward again and sighed. He must have been worshipping something back then, but I don't know anymore. Little White said, I'm hungry. Let's go find treasures. Lin Xian smiled, you little imp. Then he left this place. With the treasure bowl and the hand of creation, Little White guided Lin Xian all the way through the mountains and rivers and finally arrived in front of him. There were mountains in front of him. The tallest one was tens of thousands of feet tall, like a sharp sword. At the top there was a vine with a gourd on it. It seemed that there was more than one gourd in the past, but it had been taken away by someone, leaving only the last purple gourd. The gourd was not big, but it was a creation of heaven and earth. The power it contained was shocking. Little White clapped her hands and smiled. Hey, that thing suits me. You little guy, okay, I'll get it for you. Lin Xian smiled and walked forward. His appearance attracted the attention of countless people. In the next moment, everyone saw a man who looked like a demon walking over. Who was it? What a terrifying aura. Countless people looked over. But when they saw that Lin Xian was alone, they no longer paid attention. No matter how strong a person was, his ability was limited. Here they relied on the strength of a group. In the sky ahead, the stars were bright, and the sun and moon alternated. The purple gourd on the mountain also shook. Endless purple light flew in all directions. Chapter 4660. Countless people became nervous when they saw this scene. Their eyes shone with a cold light. It seemed that the gourd had changed. They had to get it. Anything that grew in the heavenly court was definitely heaven-defying. Some of the desolate ancient families had already guessed the origin of the gourd because it had appeared tens of thousands of years ago. It was a green-skinned gourd. This purple-skinned gourd might have the same power. If it was really that kind of gourd, they had to get it. Heaven and earth shook. The gourd seemed to have become the center of the world, spreading out in all directions. The purple aura turned into purple sword light that pierced through heaven and earth. Everyone felt a chill down their spines. They were all ready to attack. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He turned his head and saw that the people from the top sects and families were all there. Other than that, there were some other experts. Although there weren't many people, none of them were weak. The surrounding people were also excited, but no one dared to act rashly. The aura made them feel fearful. After a while, someone finally couldn't take it anymore. He turned into a ray of cold light and rushed over. This person had a holy radiance that shone between heaven and earth. He was from the Sacred Heavens clan. After they arrived, they threw out the Sacred Heavens diagram and shrouded the purple gourd. Not good. Seeing this, the others exclaimed. A few more people rushed up. A storm gathered. It was the Wind Clan. The Serene Cloud sect also attacked. They threw out a terrifying Serene Cloud palm and grabbed the purple gourd from another direction. Countless people were shocked. Could it be that the purple gourd was going to be obtained by these people? However, at this moment, on the vines, suddenly purple flames appeared. It swept out. It shrouded them. Boom. Get lost. Angry roars could be heard. Those experts roared and tried to counterattack. However, the purple flames were too terrifying. In an instant, their divine abilities were ignited and burned to ashes. A few figures fell from the sky. There were still flames dancing on their bodies. In the end, they turned into nothingness. How terrifying. Countless people were shocked. Weren't these vines too terrifying? However, the pupils of some experts shrank. No, it wasn't just the flames. There were other experts secretly attacking. Lin Xian frowned. He had indeed sensed an unusual aura. Golden light blossomed in his eyes. So that was how it was. Someone had indeed made a move in the dark. Who is it? Get out here. The experts of the Saint Heaven's clan were enraged. The void near the towering mountain cracked open, and a purple figure appeared. A terrifying aura enveloped the 9 heavens like a purple mountain. The flames turned into a sea that swept out in all directions. The surrounding people quickly retreated. This person was really too scary, and he didn't seem to be a human. Was it a demonic beast? Countless people were shocked. Divine light blossomed from their eyes as they observed the sky full of flames. Lin Xian saw it immediately and was shocked. It was the purple Qilin. Everyone was shocked. This was actually a Qilin, a divine beast. Had he been living in the heavenly court all this time? If that was really the case, it would be too terrifying. Now I know this purple Qilin. It came from the outside. An old man from the Wind clan said through gritted teeth. The others heaved a sigh of relief when they heard this. However, he was also incomparably shocked. Although he did not come from the heavenly court ruins, the Qilin race itself was incomparably powerful, and their bloodline was extremely strong. Even the Qilin cave was an emperor race that had produced a great emperor. This purple Qilin was very strong and would be difficult to deal with. This saint has taken a fancy to this gourd. You humans better scram or I'll let you all swallow it. A shocking roar accompanied by terrifying flames swept out in all directions. Some of the weaker Saint Kings felt that their bodies were about to melt. The bloodline flames were too powerful. You're too arrogant. Although you're a Qilin, which one of the people here isn't an ancient family or a peerless sect that isn't weaker than you? You want to take the purple gourd for yourself? I'm afraid you don't have the strength. The old man from the Wind clan shouted coldly. Is that so? Just with you guys? The purple Qilin was disdainful. He was a peak saint beast, and his strength was not something these people could imagine. Then what about us? The people from the Saint Heaven's clan walked out. The people from the Light clan and the Serene Cloud sect also moved out. They were prepared to deal with the Qilin together. Only by killing it could they compete with each other and have a chance to obtain the purple gourd. Everyone, let's work together. The old man from the Wind clan shouted. He raised his hand and a wind blade swept out. Thousands of wind blades swept out towards the purple Qilin. Boom. The purple flames that filled the sky were split apart in an instant. Countless people were shocked. It was too terrifying. Even Lin Xian was shocked. It seemed like he had to sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight. The attack of the old man from the Wind clan had thoroughly infuriated the Qilin. The purple Qilin roared crazily. A purple pillar of light rushed over. The people from the Light clan rushed over. They reached the purple Qilin with extreme speed and punched out. The purple Qilin's body shook, but it did not break through its defense. Instead, its tail swept over like a heavenly blade. The people from the Light clan quickly dodged. Buzz. The purple Qilin moved unhindered between the heavens and the earth. Its body continued to grow. In the end, it was even more terrifying than 100,000 zhang tall mountain. The mountain was not even as big as its feet. After displaying such a strong physique, it began to kill in all directions. The surrounding experts quickly attacked. There was no choice. If they did not defeat the purple Qilin, they would not even have the chance to get close. Run. Those who were prepared to watch fled in the next moment. The flames had already killed many people in the surroundings. They turned into nothingness in an instant. Not even their bones were left behind. How valiant was this? Perhaps only the experts could go up and fight in close combat. The others could only join forces and attack from afar. Lin Xian kept dodging. From time to time, he would use the dragon sword to extinguish the surrounding flames. He was relatively far away, so the flames were not too powerful and could not threaten him. However, it was impossible for him to get close. The figure that shrouded the heavens and earth was like a god, blocking everyone's hope. However, the people who attacked were not weak either. The top experts of the clan of the ancients and the great sects were not a match for the purple Qilin in a one-on-one fight. However, at this moment they attacked together. It was also extremely terrifying. Gradually they suppressed the purple Qilin. Cracks began to appear on the purple Qilin's body. Purple blood dripped down. The Qilin was completely enraged. It attacked crazily. However, its injuries were getting worse. In the end, its body was burning with blood. It was only a matter of time before it died. Of course he could escape. Chapter 4661. Lin Xian stood in the distance and observed. At this moment, his lips curled up into a cold smile as he realized that the great sects had started to secretly attack each other. Although they were still hiding their strength, he knew that once the Qilin fell, these experts would start to fight again. This was the opportunity that he was looking for. Only in such a situation could he obtain the treasure. Suddenly, he frowned and activated his heavenly secret divine eyes to the extreme. It was as if he could see through everything. In the next moment he snorted. The Z Mansion sect had many tricks up their sleeves. The most mysterious people present were the Z Mansion sect. They had collected countless cultivation techniques and divine abilities. No one knew how many tricks they had up their sleeves. At this moment, the Z Mansion sect seemed to have started to secretly attack while the other remote antiquity families had yet to react. However, none of this could escape Lin Xian's eyes. Lin Xian felt that it was about time to head out. Hence, his figure flashed as he dashed forward. At the same time, the purple-skinned gourd on the mountain became even more mysterious. The runes on it intertwined and it seemed to have been completed. The others sensed the change in the purple-skinned gourd and they were moved. There were also some hidden experts who rushed forward. They were like shadows and their speed was extremely fast. Boom. The battle ahead was still going on. All sorts of terrifying laws filled the air and the great Tao intertwined. The Qilin's body was already broken and it would not be able to hold on for long. Might even be killed. At this moment, the gigantic body of the Qilin quickly shrunk and turned into the size of a human. It then broke through the void and escaped. Did it leave? Countless experts stopped what they were doing and no longer attacked. This time they had also suffered heavy losses. The number of people they had brought with them was not less than one person. However, the result was good. Their greatest enemy had left. Next, it was time for them to attack. Lin Xian frowned. It was earlier than he had expected. Xiao Bai blinked her big eyes and said, "Oh, that Qilin did not run too far." Did not run too far? Lin Xian snorted. Could it be that the other party was also going to sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight? However, he didn't mind. If the other party had been like this from the start, perhaps it would have been fine. However, the other party had already been severely injured, and he did not have much strength left in him. If he dared to make a move now, he would only end up in a tragic state. Let's go. He used the void escape technique, tore open the void and flew towards the high mountain. It didn't take long for him to reach the mountain range. He could already sense the aura of the purple-skinned gourd. The purple light above hit his body and made a clanging sound. It was obvious that the purple-skinned gourd was an incredible treasure. He had to be careful. Taking a deep breath, he prepared to make a move. However, at this moment, another voice came from behind him. "Brat, you think you don't have the qualifications to seize it? Get lost." A cold voice sounded out. Lin Xian turned around and discovered a few shadowy figures. They were the people of the Tranquil Cloud sect. These figures. Emitting a cold killing intent, he stared at him. Lin Xian sneered and raised his hand to strike. Demonic qi covered the area, turning into a demonic disc. It rushed over as if it could destroy everything in the world. Courting death. 3 silhouettes rushed forward. They attacked together. Serene Cloud Palm. Dark Shadow Arrow. Monstrous laws swept out as if they could pierce through everything. Clanging sounds rang out and a great battle broke out. The faces of the 3 Tranquil Cloud sect experts changed. They discovered that the 3 of them couldn't take down the other party. Instead, each of them was shaken to the point that their qi and blood were in turmoil. Lin Xian sneered. Within the pitch-black demonic qi, a shocking gaze swept across. The souls of the 3 were injured. Originally, when the 3 of them worked together, their cooperation was strong. However, at this moment, their souls were attacked and they were even affected by the illusion technique. The 3 of them worked together to break down. Lin Xian came to a place. He stepped forward and with a palm, he shattered the other party's body. Little White also grabbed the other person and knocked him out. After that, Lin Xian took out great destruction and pierced through the 2 of them. The 3 Tranquil Cloud sect experts fell. When the people who rushed over saw this scene, their pupils shrank. So strong. These 3 experts were all in the middle stage of the Saint King realm and were extremely powerful existences. They were almost late Saint Kings. But in the hands of the other party, they were killed in an instant like vegetables. This Demon Dao expert was too scary. The other party was clearly an early Saint King, but he had such strength. Damn it. Seeing this, the evil spirit's face turned cold. The other party dared to kill the people of the Tranquil Cloud sect. Damn it. He changed his body and wanted to rush over. But at this moment, a golden light flashed past, and a middle-aged man from the Golden Crow tribe attacked him. The evil spirit roared. He could only fight with the other party, and he didn't have the mood to care about anything else. The current situation was extremely shocking. Everyone was fighting and there seemed to be endless danger. The young geniuses were also facing the assassination of the older generation experts. Even Lin Xian was attacked once again, and there were 5 experts surrounding him. Lin Xian dodged quickly, and the demonic chi on his body surged to the sky, fighting back. At this moment, another figure landed. Since this is the case, the item is mine. An expert from the light race tore open the void and flew forward. This was a woman from the light race, and she seemed to be from the younger generation as well. Although she wasn't from the light race, she was equally terrifying. Her speed was extremely fast, and she flew past everything, arriving beside the purple gourd. Not good. Many people exclaimed. To think that the light race had such a hidden genius. The woman's lips curled, and a golden net appeared around her body, about to trap the other party. But at this moment, she was sent flying as though she was struck by lightning. What was going on? The people from the light race were shocked, and so were the others. Who was it? Who could hit the light race expert? It must be the light race. They were too careless. From the void, a figure walked out. It was a skeleton, and there was no aura on it. The faces of the people from the light race were terrible. Damn it, it was a puppet. No wonder their geniuses couldn't sense it. The skeleton was secretly controlled by someone, and it sent the light race genius flying with a palm strike, while the other palm formed an endless seal that trapped the purple gourd. The purple gourd shot out a bright light that pierced through the 9 heavens. Countless cracks appeared on the skeleton palm, and it was even pierced through. However, it was just a puppet and it didn't fear anything. It only knew how to carry out orders. Even though it was riddled with holes, it still grabbed the purple gourd, tore open the void and disappeared. Damn it, who was it? The people from the clan of the ancients went crazy. Until now, they still didn't know who was secretly controlling it. Chapter 4662. That's great. The people from the Z government were smiling. But very quickly their facial expressions became ice cold again. They also pretended to be anxious. They couldn't let others know that they were the ones who did it. They controlled the white bones and flew away. When the people here weren't paying attention, they would meet up again. Lin Xian snorted when he saw this scene. Others couldn't find it, but his Tianji divine eyes could. In the next moment he shouted coldly. Do you think we don't know that the Purple Mansion sect is secretly doing something? What? The surrounding people were in an uproar. Did the Purple Mansion sect do it? They all turned their heads to look. The people from the Purple Mansion sect had ugly expressions. Who dares to challenge us? Lin Xian sneered. Only the people from the Purple Mansion sect had endless divine abilities. It wasn't difficult for them to control the white bones. If they didn't make a move, he would really get the item. Lin Xian's voice was erratic, and no one knew who it was that had spoken. However, everyone was sure that it was the Purple Mansion sect who did it. The people from the Purple Mansion sect snorted and retreated quickly. The others surrounded the white bones. Did they want to leave? The atmosphere was getting more and more tense. Some people even attacked. Lin Xian sneered when he saw this scene. His body flickered and he used the void escape technique to fly quickly in the air. He arrived in front of the white bones. Lin Xian struck out with his palm and hit the white bone. The white bones shook, but it didn't break. In fact, its toughness was beyond his expectations. Damn it, someone is attacking. The people from the Purple Mansion sect roared. Hurry up and chase after him. The item was stolen. The others also snorted. Don't try to trick us. However, there were also some people who flew into the air. Indeed, they saw a white bone being beaten out of the void. Who is it? They all turned their heads to look. The people from the Purple Mansion sect roared. It was useless. They quickly controlled the white bones to leave. The white bones were very strange. No matter how strong the attack was, it couldn't be opened. They were confident. The others flew into the air and attacked the white bones. Lin Xian's face sank when he saw this. Is it hard? Let's see if your defense is strong or my attack is strong. He summoned the great dragon sword soul, held it with both hands and slashed out. Heaven and earth were split into 2, and the white bone claw was chopped down. Lin Xian quickly left with the claw. Within the palm was the purple-skinned gourd. How was this possible? The faces of the people from the purple government palace behind them became ugly. Their smiles froze. The way they saw it, no one would be able to break through the skeleton. However, someone had actually managed to slash apart the sword image with a single sword strike. Who was it? They soared into the air. After setting up for so long, they finally succeeded. Who would have thought that it would be snatched away by someone else? How could they be willing to accept this? As for the others, their eyes turned red. Kill that person. It was that mysterious demonic cultivator from before. He absolutely could not let him escape. Everyone could see a demonic shadow shuttling back and forth. They were frantically chasing after him. But the people from the Light Clan were the first to catch up. They were very fast. This was especially true for the woman from before. She was already infuriated by the fact that she had been ambushed. Now that he had found his target, how could he give it up? People of the demonic path, go to hell. The woman from the Light Clan shot out a bolt of lightning. She was extremely powerful to begin with. It was enough to tear apart everything. This bolt of lightning was even more terrifying. Lin Xian's body was hit and he was knocked off course. However, he did not pay attention to it and continued to fly. How was this possible? The woman from the Light Clan was stunned. He hadn't been able to break through his opponent's defenses with his attack. Instead, she was injured by the impact. Her palm was shattered. What kind of physique did he have? However, this attack had also slowed down Lin Xian's speed. The people from the purple government palace rushed over in an instant. A middle-aged man formed a seal with his palms, forming a large purple net. The power of the seal was extremely terrifying. Obviously, it was a type of unique technique. The people from the purple government palace were bound to kill. But a long spear flew out, tearing apart the large black net. At the same time, it shot towards the man in purple. The middle-aged man shouted angrily. He combined his palms and slapped on the Great Destruction Spear. He quickly retreated and the Great Destruction Spear flew past him. It made his hair stand on end. Damn it, this Wu. She's so terrifying. But in the sky, the Sage Heavenly Diagram flew down with a power that could suppress heaven and earth. Lin Xian clenched his fist and punched out. It turned into a heavenly demon diagram to fight against it. At this moment, the power of the Great Dragon Sword Soul was displayed with every move he made. He did not use his unique technique. After all, he was still hiding his identity. He was afraid that these people would recognize him. However, with his demonic power and the power of the Great Dragon Sword Soul, it was enough to fight against them. From time to time he would use his soul to attack. Once these people's souls were injured, they would become crazy and did not seem to distinguish between friend and foe. Lin Xian was besieged by more than a dozen people, but he was not at a disadvantage. Damn it, who the hell is he? He's too strong. The top geniuses of our clan of the ancients are just SOSO. The people from the purple government palace looked gloomy. Damn it. Their purple government palace was all-encompassing and had many divine powers. However, they found that the other party seemed to be even more terrifying. Not only did his moves have a sharp power, but they could also transform into anything. It seemed that the other party had mastered thousands of divine powers. Who the hell is he? It's useless. At this moment, another strong cultivator came and completely surrounded Lin Xian. Kid, are you very strong? The Qilin from before was injured by us. Do you think you can withstand it? Indeed, no matter how strong Lin Xian was, he was only an early-stage Saint King. The demonic beasts at the peak of the Saint King realm had been beaten away by them. They were ready to join forces again. Lin Xian naturally felt great pressure. Dragon-shaped sword chi flew out of his body and condensed into thousands of purple gourds. Then he said, I don't want these gourds. You can have them. He waved his hand and a gourd flew to the Light Clan. The woman from the Light Clan caught it and laughed. However, the next moment she was dumbfounded because she found that after the first gourd, thousands of other gourds flew out. Damn it, are they illusions? Someone attacked. No, they couldn't tell the difference. How did he do it? These people found that each gourd seemed to be real. There was a sharp purple path aura on them. It was impossible to tell them apart. They could only discover it by themselves. Thousands of purple gourds flew in all directions. Everyone was fighting for them. Lin Xian took this opportunity to tear open the void and quickly leave. Spatial divine powers? Keep an eye on him. An old man shouted angrily. He was a late-stage Saint King, and he was from the purple government palace. His eyes shone with purple light like two divine lamps that shrouded the world. Lin Xian felt that he was frozen. The old man flew out. Kid, do you think you can escape? Baby, it's in your hands. What a terrifying eye technique. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.